Game over.
And what is up? Welcome back. It's Friday night, and you're back with us here on the Average Boys podcast. Guys, I've missed you. It's been like 2 weeks. I've been out myself. I got pretty sick, pretty bad shape, but I am back feeling about 80%. And you'll notice that Brian is not here because now Brian is sick. It's kind of come down with a pretty bad flu, but I brought my other homie in. We got JD Ellis with us in the house. What's going on, JD?
Oh my God, what is up? So I'm kind of jealous, man.
Why? What's up, man? Hi, Debbie.
I want to be in that intro, bro.
It's pretty solid, right?
I want to be 8-bit.
Yeah, dude, we're all set up. Hey, man, it took me a long minute, man. Brian went off and hit up the artist that we hit up for our previous stuff on Fiverr. Pretty cool guy. If anybody needs that link, hit me up in the DMs and I'll send you a link to our Fiverr artist. But yeah, man, he made us a pretty solid little animated GIF. And then I went ahead and I added a bunch. I added the whole new intro with all of this flying in and doing all this crazy stuff. So
Scott Pilgrim shit.
Yeah, dude, exactly. That was 100% my whole theory behind it. I was like, I want it to be Scott Pilgrimish. I want people to understand that we're into gaming and everything nerdy. And I think having like a whole 8-bit version of us going around doing bastardly things would be really, really funny and cute. And yeah, I'm a big Thor fan, so my character's got a huge hammer. Trigger's character is very much into swords, and Mega Man, so he's got a sword in one, and then he's got Mega Man's cannon in the other. And then Brian's a big comic book guy, and he loves the Thanos and all the whole story, so we went and gave him the power glove. So he comes on in all freaking just badass, and turned out really, really good, man. The whole collab of all the characters coming together came out very nice, and I was super, super excited. So, yeah, JD, how's it been going, man?
Man, dude, life, bro. What can I tell you?
Fuck, you're telling me, man. I was in the hospital all last week.
Wait, were you?
Yeah, dude, I got a pretty wrecked. So what happened was I came down with a slight case of pancreatitis, which is I ate something that my body didn't agree with, and it rejected it. Right, Brian. We're gonna totally talk about the 10 out of 10 out of 10 Batman crap, dude. We're totally gonna talk about this today. But yeah, the pancreatitis is pretty bad. So when I was born with this thing called CDH, congenital diaphragmatic hernia, which means my diaphragm in my stomach had a hole in it. So the doctors had to cut me open, take all my stuff out, like the Surgeon General game. That was that old doctor game where you have to don't touch the sides and shit. Operation. Yeah, they had to take all my stuff out, not touch the sides, and then put it back in alphabetically. But they had to put a steroid netting on the hole so the hole would close up eventually. Hey, what's up, Brian? Brian, what's up, my dude? That's Brian right there, man. On Twitch, my boy.
Honestly, I knew you were in the hospital. I just wanted you to go over the story.
Oh yeah, dude, it got freaking, man. It was quite the experience. So when I was a kid, I had that procedure done. It was, it's been a thing about my whole life. I was like a Driscoll baby, so I was born like one of those miracle babies and stuff like that. I'm doing pretty good, Brian, and now you're gonna get better. You watch. I know what I'm telling you. You're gonna get better. I know, my
bro. You are a miracle, bro.
I am. I try my best to be just as plainly normal as I can, but thank you very much. That's super nice of you to say. So what happened was with the surgery and my growth and all this stuff, my pancreas became deformed in a later part of my age. So it became an annular pancreas, which is just got a weird deformity to it. So now it kind of bothers me when I eat. And now what happened was, I guess I ate something that my body didn't agree with. and my pancreas, I vomited or whatever the fuck I needed to do. But in the process of it, my pancreas started eating itself. It started digesting itself. So what they had to do was they admitted me into the hospital. I went to one of those like little minor ERs because of my stomach ache, and they admitted me 8 hours later. And then they had to starve me for 3 days. I couldn't eat. Everything was like, hey man, if you want to eat anything, it's gonna have to be rectal. I was like, no, I can't eat that way, man. I don't know who eats rectally. But
Hey man,
but
South Park, bro. That episode.
yeah, I know. I had all these different like things in my head that were going through it, but it was quite the experience. And I keep telling people, if I'm a cat, I'm probably down to like 3 more lives. So like, I just, I gotta really, really be careful the rest of this time that I'm here. But
I don't know, man. I say you should go big, bro. If you got 3 more lives, you got 2 extra to go mess up. Real
yeah,
quick,
I got 2 more to mess up with. But yeah, man, I'm glad to be back. I feel great. I'm about 80%. I'm gonna start to go back to my normal life Monday, gym and teaching my classes and going back to work and all that stuff. So I'm really excited to do it. But in the process of me being in the hospital for the whole week, I missed last Friday's show. We had to cancel out because I was out and I couldn't set up the studio and all this stuff. So Brian, Trigger, they helped me out as much as they could for the little bit of energy that I could give them, and they managed to pull through and let people know that we weren't going to be able to do the show. So we had a big thing planned out that last week we were going to cover. What's going on, everybody? Lemon, what's up, man? We were going to cover, of course, the Batman last week, because next week I'm going to let people know I'm going to try my best. We were supposed to have him on this week. We're going to bring on a man named Rick Diaz, and Rick Diaz was a gentleman that worked on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He was one of the cinematography guys, and he's actually from Sherryland. So he was working alongside the director. We're going to bring him on the show next week, and he also works on Stranger Things. So he'll be on the show here next week with us. We're really excited to bring him on. Like I said, the week that I got sick was the week he was supposed to be on with us. So we had this big show planned out. It was going to be a big surprise for everybody. But of course, life catches up to us and something, caught up with me. But this week, what we're going to do is, of course, I've sat on it for a pretty long time, but I'm here to crap on Batman. That's
bro,
so freaking Alex.
You cannot crap on the best movie out there.
Oh man. But you know what? Like I said, so I had the opportunity to sit on it for a week. Like I said, I was in the hospital. Finally got the opportunity to go with some of my friends to go see the Batman, and everyone was hyping it up and super excited. And we're here. We're going to be talking about spoilers for the Batman today. So I hope everybody comes in and wants to talk Batman talk, because we're really about it. But JD, before we get on with that,
oh man,
we have some other stuff, of course, we want to talk about. Nothing too crazy. Just some nerd stuff before, because man, we're really going to jump into Batman. I already know it. We got a bunch of people already in the comments section that are jumping in. But first, I wanted to talk about the first reactions to the Moon Knight Disney series has already been coming out. JD, are you pretty familiar with all this stuff or no? It's cool. You've been honest.
Okay, so honestly, I love comic book stuff, but I've always stayed in the same realm of my characters, which for Marvel, it's always going to be Spider-Man, a little bit of Strange, Venom, stuff like that. So I don't really expand, right? So all I really know is what I've seen in the Marvel universe. And then DC, it's been Batman, Joker, and then a couple others here and there. Yeah. But okay, so you said Moon Knight, right? Yeah. So isn't Moon Knight Marvel's version of a Batman kind of?
Yeah, he was written in the same kind of theory of it, right? But instead what they did was they went ahead and made it to where instead of him actually having the Bruce Wayne persona and the Batman persona, they gave him a split personality. So they made him a broken man and made him a crazy person.
So he's literally Batman. It's just that he acknowledges his brokenness.
Yeah, he acknowledges. Well, he doesn't even acknowledge it because he has in his mind, if I'm not mistaken, he has 2 other variations of himself. One of them is, I think, Mark Spector, and I cannot remember the other one's name. But they both, either one of them is you know how Batman sometimes he portrays himself as Bruce Wayne because that's his real life essence. But then sometimes he'll be the underground dude that kind of hangs out in bars and he's low life, kind of he always plays that one character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So that's how this guy is. But both of those parts he plays are actually personas in his mind.
Oh, okay.
So then what happens is he gets lost in them and he can't figure out which one's supposed to be the real one.
Dang.
So like that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, I'm gonna sound like a dick, right? But like anything Marvel does so far has been gold, right?
Yeah,
So
it can be. Yeah.
like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's gonna suck or whatever. I feel like they're gonna go into it with the right mind and execute it properly. The only thing I don't understand, and I know we're probably gonna get into it, is the Miss Marvel thing.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna be talking about that today too, just a little bit, yeah, because I really don't want to. I don't want to fixate too much on this because me myself, like, I'm not really all that knowledgeable in Moon Knight. It was like you said, like there were certain characters that I cared about, some I didn't. Moon Knight, for what it was worth, was pretty fun. He was pretty cool, but there wasn't a lot of like real like crazy material to go off of, except for the fact that he was a pretty like street level like Daredevil character. Where Daredevil had at least the Hand and Elektra and all of these characters he kind of like got intertwined with. Moon Knight with Khonshu and like I think like the Nightman and all that stuff. Like it was very kind of like isolated in like the Egyptian lore of stuff. It was very by himself. It wasn't until recent comic books that they actually had it to where Moon Knight like tanked the entire Avengers roster. Like he fucking dropped all of them. Like he beat the shit out of everybody. But it was in the aspect of him saying, well, everyone needs the moon or whatever the fucking, and the person that I get my powers from is the god of the moon. And yeah, it was very like unnecessary for the Moon Knight character. But I guess it was Marvel's way of trying to make him relevant in the times right now because they're going to make a show about him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I got you.
But going on what you said a little while ago, they did release the first trailer. Oh, well, like I said, hey, what's up, Chrissy? Like I said, they just released the first reactions. There's a lot of artists and people who have like YouTube channels and all this stuff that have been doing film and comics and all this stuff reviews. And a lot of them had the opportunity to first see the first 4 episodes, and everybody is praising the shit out of it. They say it's very well kind of like disconnected from all the other jumbleness of the Marvel universe. And it's kind of like its own thing. So it's going to be like a cool, clean slate for the street level characters, especially since Marvel went ahead and released like Daredevil and the Defenders and all this stuff in Disney again. So it'll be cool to see all these guys, how they're going to work with them in the future. But going on to the next part, I'm gonna go ahead and put the banner up for it too, just so people can know what we're talking about. Marvel has also released its first trailer for the Miss Marvel Kamala Khan series that's going to be coming out for Disney Plus. Guys, if you're not familiar, Kamala Khan is one of the first Middle Eastern Muslim superheroes. Not the first, but one of the first. There was a mutant named Dust a while back that came out, but a lot of people don't recognize him because of the person that created him is not very liked in the community. But Dust was one of the first mutants that was Muslim. But yeah, they created Kamala Khan. In the comic book, she's a really big fan of Miss Marvel. That's how she dons the name. But she gets her powers from the Terrigen Mist, right? The Terrigen Mist was Thanos was looking for his son. He goes to Black Bolt, which is an Inhuman. He then goes and Black Bolt blows up his ship, which is called the Atilian. And when it explodes, the Terrigen crystals that are inside of the ship, they explode. And Terrigen, when it's turned into a crystallized form, it activates people's Inhuman genes. So what Inhumans are they are a race of people that are bioengineered by the Kree, which are the people that Miss Marvel's, the people that she was working with, the aliens. That's the people that did this to this genetics of this people. Does that make sense?
So kind of like Marvel's video game Inhumans, but like not a bad version of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, right? Yeah. So I'll put it simpler because that was a lot of like moving parts. There's a group of people, a group of race called the Inhumans, and they live on the moon. They were bioengineered by the Kree, who are the
Assassin's Creed.
No, not the Assassin's Creed. The Kree are the same dudes as What was that dude from Guardians Part 1, the bad guy? I can't even remember his
The
name.
blue guy?
Yeah, the blue guy.
Okay. I know who you're talking about.
He's a Kree. That's the race of people that are the Kree. The Accuser, Ronan the Accuser. He's a Kree member. Those people have been at war way before humankind has been developed. They've always been at war with the Skrulls, which are the green dudes that can change shape that are in the Miss Marvel movie, right? For a long time, they've always been at war. So what happened was during the Kree and Skrull War, the Kree started developing Inhumans to kind of make little pockets of like people to fight with them and help them. They were all part of a bunch of different races and stuff like that. And that's how the Inhumans were created. But then they were forgotten and left there. And the small group of Inhumans that are there on Earth kind of like maintained and created like a royal kingdom of their own people.
Kind of sounds like the United States.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. It's the easiest way to put it without a king. But the thing is like there's a lot of people that are in humanity that have the inhuman gene. Like it's kind of like it's been mixed throughout history.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is when the Thanos and Black Bolt war happens and he's looking for his son, Thane, they blow the ship up. All the Terrigen's crystals in the ship explode and it covers the earth and it starts like going around like a giant like Terrigen storm. And everywhere that it invokes or it touches someone who has the gene, they instantly cocoon up and they instantly change. And then with mutants, it starts killing mutants.
What? So
yeah, it was actually killing the mutants.
So mutants that can't die or have that ability not to die will actually die with this
gas? Because it's more like a poison. It attacks them like at a DNA level.
So if someone knew this and they gave this to Deadpool or Wolverine, they would die.
They'd probably die.
Dang.
I mean, you got to remember that. Wolverine and Deadpool. I mean, Deadpool having the stronger healing factor. Wolverine and all of them, they all died during the what is it? What was the fucking story? The digitized story. The stuff that's on Cable's body.
Oh, okay.
The metal that's going through his body.
Yeah.
Like all of that shit, like it killed Wolverine too. That was like a Age of Apocalypse storyline that was really, really wild back. So like, it's even for what it's worth, like having a healing factor in the Marvel universe doesn't mean you're immortal and nothing can touch you. So, but going back, right? So Miss Marvel, the way her story starts is she has an inhuman gene. The Terrigen Mist explodes. It gives her powers. She can kind of expand her body when she needs to. Like it's very, very, very familiar to Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four.
Like the comics or the movies?
Like, yeah, they're both the same. Just worse script. Just a worse script in the film. But it's looking like in the trailer, it's a lot more different. So apparently in the script, what it's looking like is she puts on some jewelry, which is like a bracelet. And it starts to allow her to make constructs very similar to the way the Green Lantern is. So she can kind of she kind of creates these like energy forms that she can then do a bunch of stuff. So it's very weird because I don't think it's really going to have, and this is for anybody in the comments section who knows about this, who knows about the Kamala Khan story and have been watching the trailer. It really doesn't have anything to do with the Inhumans anymore. So it's looking like Marvel, when they got the rights back from the X-Men, they kind of just like, okay, cool. Inhumans, cut them. We don't need them anymore.
They're just making it more like a natural event or some kind of weird cause as opposed to the actual reason.
Yeah, and it's a little bit weird, man, because I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's a stickler. And you could tell me this because you're also a story writer and you're a person who likes stories. You're a person who creates stories.
Yes.
When you take a character and you change them dynamically from their origin story, would it not change the theme of the character's purpose to do things? Like how they do things?
Honestly, man, that's a thing that's as old as age as time, man. Like seriously, like if you think about it, like Christian Bale's Batman it touched a lot of stuff that probably wasn't in the realm of what we thought Batman could be, right? But yet he was still Batman. It was a very good movie. His purpose was still there. So, like, with that kind of context, right? Batman is also a human, right? So it's more believable to be like, okay, well, we believe he can do this, or we can make it believe we can do this, right? But in this case of Miss Marvel, knowing all the alien origin or the like aspect of what goes into it to actually make her her, in this case, I think would defeat the purpose.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like how are you gonna change that when that's already like a hardcore selling point? Because like with Batman, Iron Man, or just pretty much any character, there's always that extra story that you can take from and add on to. Like Batman, he has money. So okay, cool. This is why he's doing what he's doing. Iron Man, intelligent, knows science. This is why he's doing what he's doing. But for someone random like her, and then the alien origin just kind of gets taken away, it's kind of like, okay, well then what are we doing?
Well, like even with that, right? Like you look at Batman, right?
Yeah.
Batman starts off as this rich, spoiled kid. Really kind of like, of course, he values like his parents and, you know, the family orientation and stuff like that. Parents are killed, gunned down in an alley. He sees it face to face. And then there's no justice because they never catch the killer. Then he's kind of like growing up with this like turmoil in his mind where he wasn't strong enough, nor was he good enough to stop the death of his parents. He wants revenge, or he never wants for that to happen. He's got a really dramatic situation that creates a deep depth origin story.
Yeah.
You look at Tony Stark, even in the Marvel universe, which is different from the comic. He is a rich playboy philanthropist, or what does he say?
Yeah.
Handsome or whatever. I don't know what he says.
That likes Burger
Good looking,
King,
that likes Burger King and shit, cheeseburgers. He's a warmonger. He's a person who creates weapons and kind of goes out there and does a bunch of things. And in the process of it, his own weapons are used against him and the people that are protecting him. Then he's kidnapped, tortured, and then has to use weapons to get out of that, only to say, hey, you know what? Like me creating armor and me being able to protect people, I think I can do this. And then just not let anybody else have it. And then he does his own thing. But in the process of it, he's still very chauvinistic and full of himself. So he's always constantly getting smacked down for being a piece of shit. Right?
Yeah.
But again, a very traumatic intro to his story.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
In Kamala, is that like a beer? Jesus Christ,
No,
fucking
it's
20 pack. Oh,
it's
shit.
Raise Energy.
Raise Energy. As a matter of fact, from the sponsor of JD's video game site.
Raise.
It's his flavor. What is it?
Yeah.
JD's Lips.
Yeah, South
We should make a flavor called JD's Lips, dude.
Yeah, South Beach, bro. South Beach.
Very nice, very nice. How is that one, man? Is it good?
Very good. Think about it as a pina colada without the alcohol.
Oh, that just sounds lame.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good for tropical flavor lovers. But yeah, man, that is great.
Very good call. Well, with Kamala Khan's origin story from the comic books, she is, of course, kind of like this nerdy girl. Of course, she deals with the discrimination of being Muslim. Not too much, because of course the comic books don't really fixate on the horrid nature of people sometimes.
Question.
But they do kind of touch on that, right? What's up?
Question. And as someone who writes, right, and someone like you who understands writing and you do writing yourself, and I'm not trying to be any type of way, but like, have you noticed that everything that comes out now has to be about something more than what it actually is? And I mean, like I love all communities, I love all races, I love all types of people feel, right? But do you feel like some things won't happen or work out unless, one, you have to make that person gay or trans, or have them go through some kind of social dilemma, like being in a different race, or having to struggle with fitting in, when it's
from what I've heard recently is like the SAG and all those other like companies that kind of like invest in creating the Oscars or the Emmys or stuff like that. Now they have it set to where there's rules that you have to have a certain percentage of people in the cast that are of certain race or certain gender or certain things like that. So like now it's part of like a rule setting. So
Dang.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like that kind of like, I mean, can it
Not
push people in the right direction?
yes.
Yes, because it's right. It's proper to instill in other people. But like in recent times, you have to remember like there's a movie that's coming out right now called The Northman.
Okay.
I don't expect to see one fucking Mexican in the Northman because we
Right.
aren't fucking Vikings. You know what I mean? I
Well,
don't expect that shit. I don't expect it, and I don't expect anything of that nature. I expect to see a cast of literally a bunch of white people.
right.
But it's understandable because that is a cultural description of the Norsemen and what they dealt with. But in recent times, you know, there's been a lot of like gender swapping characters and stuff like that. I get it, man. It's a reach. They're trying to impress people or they want to make more sales. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it's okay. I
Well,
think
to
it's just
me,
the times that we're in that people are just taking chances and they're trying to make things work. And
well, yeah,
it's
but I mean, at the same time, like, and I'm all about it, bro. Like, I am. It's just like, why take something that already exists and then make it different, right? When it's like everybody's complaining, and me one, is that nothing's original anymore because it's always a rehash, a redoing, a reimagining, right? So it's like, how come nobody actually makes a fresh, like, coming of age LGBT story or a coming of age like transgender story or coming of age of something? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Why
And
do
then
they need a
like,
flagship or something?
yeah, like why don't like we focus doing that? Because to me, like, I have an idea to make a movie about wrestling, right? And like wrestling's kind of getting popular again since AEW came in and then that show Heels and all that stuff, right? But when I was looking at it and reading it, it's a good strong story, but it won't get recognized unless one, you have certain key factors in it, right? So now I'm at the cross of like, well, do I make a transgender wrestler? Do I make someone who's struggling with his identity? You know what I mean? Like, and go on like that. And at the same point, it's like, will that sell? If it doesn't sell, will it work? If it doesn't work, like, what's gonna happen? And like I'm not trying to make it seem a certain way. It's just like Hollywood in general is very racist and biased on certain things. And like,
Do you feel that when rules are set like that are kind of like an outside push or a forced push on certain agendas, do you feel like the creative, like it kind of
process,
like hinders your creative output?
yes, because I mean, again, I'm all for everybody and everything. I have a huge plethora of friends from all types of backgrounds and walks in life.
Mm.
But me personally, to write and to create, I don't know that life. You know what I mean? Or I don't know that certain lifestyle. So how do you expect me to write or make a story with that rule set if I myself doesn't know what it's like to be bullied because I was a certain way or I thought a certain way or I went through certain
Oh,
things? You know what I
okay.
mean?
I get you. Yeah, because it's not necessarily something that you've experienced in your lifestyle. You don't get to
Hmm.
see it through that point of view. So how do you write about it?
Right.
Is that what you kind of mean?
Right.
I mean, that makes sense.
Because I mean, dude, like I can write all day long about what it's like to be me and make stories. Either they're gonna be great or they're gonna suck. But I can't write about what it's like to be you. I don't know what it's like to go run that gym and do the stuff that you do and survive everything you've been through, right? But
Yeah, I
it's
mean, it's
like
proper.
somebody told me, hey, write the story about Chris P. Well, I'm gonna have to talk to like Christella, a lot of your close knit friends, to get full detail,
Yeah,
and
you got to do a bunch of
hopefully,
research.
yeah, and hopefully imagine that I can make your story the best story it could ever be. But
Yeah, and
it's
then
still not the same, man. So like what
yeah,
I'm saying is like in my mind, I wish we had more directors or creators
yeah,
that came from that background, or at least got acknowledged more to do some big ticket stuff. That way we can actually get it out there. That way it makes more sense instead of having some guy who doesn't know anything about it as like, oh, I did research and apparently this is how it works out, and then it's a bad rap, or it always turns into like, well, that guy's just mocking it when it's like he really wasn't. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
which is actually a big point when it comes to a lot of these directors that are of big names and big franchises that come in and they take a character and they try to run their own thing because they don't do the actual research on the character itself. They
Right.
kind of want to do it in their own image or whatever. and then they miss the mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the Kamala Khan story, you have the character we were talking about, origins, right? And the idea is in the comic book. I mean, of course, we haven't seen the series, so we
Right.
can only assume on what they're going to do. But in the series, it had its purpose because it was about this kid that wanted to just be accepted, right? Which is,
Right.
I mean, for teenagers and preteens and stuff like that, the idea of acceptance by their peers is probably one of the most important things that's in the priority of their life, right? They
Yeah.
want to be they don't care about being just popular, but they care about being accepted by the popular crowd also. But in the process of it, where she's working on stopping from being just a nerd and an everyday person and kind of like a fly on the wall, she then gets hit with the Terrigen cloud and turns into a cocoon, which then everybody kind of like resents her as a freak because
Mm-hmm.
she's been stuck in a cocoon, and then she comes out and nobody knows what she can do, but she was in a cocoon, which is like literally like the fly cocoon or aliens the cocoon, like literally just this weird alien pod that they were in. So then they get kind of discriminated against as like freaks again, which is like the first introduction of like when they created the mutants.
Right.
So a lot of these people, and they're not being trained, which was the difference between people who were inhumans and people who were inhuman on Earth, is that all the people that were inhuman on by the royalty part, they were on Attilan, Adalan, which is in the kingdom, right? That's their kingdom's name.
Adderall.
And it was almost like a procedure. They would be introduced. They would be introduced to the Terrigen Mist, get their powers, then brought out and then trained. Where out in the cloud, it was like, bro, you're going to the store, you're gonna buy some bread, some fog rolls up, and you're all of a sudden unconscious in a freaking slimy little cocoon, and you're kind of like coming out of it, and you're like, why do I have fish scales on my skin? Why do I look like a freak and shit?
Dang.
That was what people were dealing with, and it was dealing with it all around the world.
Real quick, just not off the cuff, but like, remember X-Men 1?
Yeah.
Okay, that guy, I forgot his name, but he woke up like on the beach and he was like some kind of fish man or some kind of.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Senator Kelly.
Yeah, Senator Kelly.
Yeah,
So
the movie,
would Senator Kelly be considered an inhuman? Because how did that happen to him?
So what that was is they magnified Magneto's genes or Magneto's power to evolve human beings into being mutants faster.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of, it doesn't make any sense. It's not in the there's nothing like that in the comics. Yeah. There's nothing like that in the comics.
It's not canon.
Yeah, you can't just go off and give someone the mutant flu and then they become a mutant. That's not the way this shit works.
Dude,
they have to have the X gene for it to be accessed for them to have the gene.
Dude, what if COVID-19 was our cloud, and like the ones who like are literally like pushing through? Like, what if we don't even know, bro?
I don't know, man. I want to check in. Where's my powers, man? Yo, JD, if quick question, man, before we go on. If you were to have any superpower, what would it be and why would it be that?
Oh my dude, why?
I don't know.
Honestly, I mean, I've seen a lot of superhero powers. I've seen a lot of origins. I've seen a lot of cool things that I would like. But ultimately, even though you said just because you have it, you might not be untouchable. But I do believe in the healing, because I feel if you have that, then you can go train, hurt yourself all you want. You're still going to regenerate and you'll be fine. But you can be better in your training, and then you can use that to do what you need to do, right? But at the same time, it kind of sucks because it's a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, you can regenerate, but what if you just suck at everything else, right?
Like, there has to be a factor, right?
Yeah,
there's got to be some factor.
So, like, honestly, I think I do regeneration. And I mean, I'm not gonna say it goes hand in hand, but I think when you regenerate, you do have some form of more human strength than possible. I mean, maybe not the strongest, but
you have to worry about breaking shit.
Well, yeah.
So you can like punch someone and break your hand, and you'd still be all right.
Yeah.
So, just smash your hand up against someone's face and shit.
Yeah, dude. Or you know, what's his name's balls, like in Deadpool, where
Cable.
Yeah.
When Deadpool rubs his balls on his face when he falls on him.
Yeah.
I fucking love that scene. If I had a superpower, I'd like to be like Colossus, dude. I'd like to be able to just turn into a big old dude of metal, dude.
Dang.
Because I want to drive super fast and jump off the expressway and land on the stripes, dude.
Wow. You want to come? You want to like
Cannonball into a stripes.
you want a suicide bomb on stripes?
I want to cannonball into a fucking convenience store, dude, off of somewhere really high. I don't know. I think it'd be fun.
And then walk out with like a Slurpee and Slim Jim. And like,
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean. Now, real quick question. This will be something that I want to kind of make this a thing. What would be the stupidest superpower if you could have, or if anybody could have? What would be the dumbest superpower you could have? Like the superhero short bus, dude.
like Meg and Family Guy, where her nails just grow slightly longer.
Yeah. Just like that. If you could think of like the stupidest superpower, what would it be? To get a cute taco, Debbie. Jeez, can you imagine jumping cannonballing through his stripes just to get a cute taco? All the rumble everywhere.
I like Debbie's style, bro. Like everybody in that line, bro. You just break in, you're like, yo,
just smash
give me a cute
What's
taco.
Up? One cute taco, just one.
Dang. That's
okay,
so
JD,
dope.
I need to know superhero short bus worst superhero. Okay, I'll start you off, dude. Because I have a whole list of this shit. I have a whole list of it.
All right.
Being able to see through your eyelids, dude.
Oh dang! So you can
like
never
you close your eyes, you can see through them. Yeah.
You can never close your eyes.
Yeah, you can never. No, you close your eyes, but
dude,
you just
no, yeah, but
them.
like it's not like you're closing them because you can still see through it. So like imagine like
yeah, it'd be the worst.
Imagine discovering that power. Like you're with your parents and there's like a sex scene in a rated R movie and it's like close your eyes and you still see it.
Your eyes just fucking see.
And then you're like, what is he doing? Dang. Okay, so a short bus powers. I would say I would say like turning invisible, but only when people close their eyes, not when they're like looking at you.
Oh, you know what? Fuck. That was like, look, and that's because someone just mentioned it. Robert said the Mystery Men. That was the dude. That was Keenan's, right? Kells or Keenan and Kells guy, the black dude.
Yeah, he's like, I can turn invisible, but don't look at me.
But don't look at me, right? Because I get nervous or whatever. Yeah, that's legit. I'll tell you another one, dude. I'll tell you another one. I have another one.
Ben Stiller's power, where he just gets really mad for no reason
all the time,
and he just like yells.
Yo, what about? I have a character right here, Code Red.
Okay.
He has a superpower that can tell the intensity of something drastic or dramatic that's going to happen by the extremes of his nosebleeds.
Wow.
So like if it gets like a really heavy nose, it's like the spider sense, but instead of the tingle being stronger, he gets a stronger nosebleed. And they call him Code Red.
So if his like shirt is full of blood, it's like 9/11. But if it's just like if it's just like a drip,
it just falls unconscious, dude. It's just pouring out, dude.
So if there's like a drip, it's like, oh, someone's gonna sprain their ankle.
Yeah.
Wow. No, man.
Just like that. My other favorite character that I created a long time ago was Slow-Mo. He was like the Flash, but backwards. When he gets excited and goes into action, like he automatically just starts going really slow.
So wait, you're telling me this guy was immaculate as long as he wasn't excited?
As long as he wasn't excited, yeah. He could do normal things, everyday things. Can just chill out or whatever. But the moment some shit hit the fan and he needed to go into action, boom, instant slow motion, dude.
I feel bad for him during intercourse, man.
Dude, JD, come on.
Well, think about it, bro. I mean, superheroes do it. I mean, Watchmen, hello. You know,
oh, Jesus Christ, the Watchmen. You know what? As a matter of fact, I went back just to watch that and V for Vendetta.
Mm-hmm.
And right now in my life, compared to the 10 years of Marvel history that we've been watching and whatever fucking fever dream the DC universe is doing, those two films are like fucking the Mona Lisa, dude.
Yes, dude.
They're so stupid good.
So look, people are going to hate me, but the Snyderverse is stupid.
It's trash.
The only thing Snyder did great was Watchmen. I mean, yeah, he has a couple other things on his list, but Watchmen was his fucking chef's kiss, bro.
Like, well, that's because I like 300 more.
Well, you know, 300's great, and I love him. I love both the 300s. But Watchmen to me, I think is the way a superhero movie should have
be.
been done, especially for something with dark tones, because he did it right. So I feel like when he did the Justice League, I think he tried to implement that, but he tried too hard that he overshadowed and overshot himself, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, and people are gonna hate me for it because I've said it before, but James Gunn, I think, needs to take over the DC universe because nobody
he
gives
did
it.
Peacemaker really, really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He also did Suicide Squad Part 2, which is way better than the first one. I mean, yeah, people still didn't like it, but if you put it in comparison, that was like a 10 compared to the 2 that the first one was, right? So, like, James Gunn can take stuff that nobody gives a shit about, put it on paper, and have it translate still to make people like it. Because I've not heard a bad complaint about Peacemaker since it's come out. And I mean, if
It's good.
if I have heard a bad complaint, it's because someone just doesn't like comics in general. Like, it's not so much like oh well, yeah, it just sucked because like everybody's like, yeah, it's so good, it was great, blah 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 blah.
Well, I
So
mean, look, the only complaint that I can give about Peacemaker is the character is not like the way it is in the comic.
Which makes
That's literally what it is. But it's not in a bad way, because what they've created is they've created a more comical, funny, likable character compared to the stickler, straightforward, direct Captain America version without a sense of humor at all. That's like this, that's like Captain America. Like when they reintroduced Captain America with Chris Evans, they gave him a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like they gave him some part of like a part where he was kind of like, hey, well, yeah, man, that's what I like to do, and blah blah blah. Like, you know, he kind of like had like a little wittiness to him. Because if you were to go with just like the straight up Boy Scout version of Captain America, a lot of people would have fucking hated him, man.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. And I
him.
get that. But see, what I'm saying is I think James Gunn could, like, I want James Gunn to do a Batman. I want him to do an Aquaman. I want him to do every main staple of DC, because I think he could literally put a universe together that would work. Because right now, yeah, we're gonna have the Flash movie come out. He's gonna go through Flashpoint. Yeah, okay, cool. We're gonna see the Keaton. We're gonna do the whole multiverse thing. That's awesome. But to me, dude, everyone's like, oh, Snyder's so good. It's like, bro, Snyder just like tickled our peepees, bro. Like, he just showed us scenes that we'll never get to see again. He brought up ideas that'll never get retouched. And then like people are like, oh yeah, that's why we got to resurrect the Snyderverse. Okay, cool. But I don't think Snyder has what it takes to reimagine every one of those people's origin stories to put it together in a good movie. You know what I'm saying?
I trust him in cinematography. I don't trust him in the storytelling aspect.
Right. It's the same thing with Michael Bay. I love anything Michael Bay does, except for like
creating a story.
Well, okay, Michael Bay does great. Like No Pain No Gain, loved it. Everything else he's done, loved it. But Turtles, Transformers, anything that has to do with childhood is like, bro, you killed it.
Yeah.
But everything else that he either based off a true story or something that he made on his own, beautiful work. But he can't work off of source material, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I'm not even at all excited for, and you know what? It's very crazy because as you mentioned it, like the Snyderverse, the Restore the Snyderverse thing has been trending for the last week already.
Yeah.
Which because of the fact that there's large talks for Ben Affleck to come back and Henry Cavill coming back to star as their characters in the DC universe, which I mean, I was more impressed with Ben Affleck coming back because Henry Cavill never really said that he 100% left the character. He just said he's open for new opportunities. And he also said that he was open to play a character in Marvel, which by far is probably one of the funniest things if he would have went over and did one of their Superman characters, their Superman clones instead, and then just dropped DC out of nowhere. That would have been immaculate for me, dude. I would have laughed my ass off. But DC doesn't need that kind of kick in the nuts because, you know, you can't beat a dead horse.
Yeah. Well, technically, this Matt Reeves Batman was supposed to be the standalone Ben Affleck Batman.
Well, we remember that Ben Affleck was supposed to be working on this film. We remember that he was talking about it. You know what? Let me put up the banner real quick so we can get right into the talks of Batman and all this other stuff.
And also, I don't know if you know, but from what I've read and heard is that yes, it was supposed to be the standalone Ben Affleck Batman, and it was going to introduce Terry McGillis to possibly get a live action Batman Beyond.
Was that what this was supposed to be?
Yeah, that was what the original script was supposed to be, and then I think Reeves took it, redid it, and said, "No, let's do it this way," which was stupid. Because I would have taken the Ben Affleck going into Batman Beyond more than this one.
I mean, it's an interesting story, the Batman Beyond, but then again, they're going to be taking the Batman Beyond story and they're going to be heading in for Batwoman that way, which is going to be that one on HBO.
Yeah.
So they're bringing in Michael Keaton as the older Batman character for that one and whatnot. This one, from what I remember, was supposed to be kind of like a reintroduction to the origin story of Ben Affleck's character.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Affleck was supposed to come out in it, but I think because of a situation with the director like Matt Reeves, or I forgot who was the original one, there was a lot of bumping heads, and that's when Ben Affleck fell out of it. And then they decided to go with another one, and then they decided to go the same route as the Joker series, where they were like, no, this isn't technically the Batman of the universe. This is going to be a standalone Batman film. But through and through,
Dude,
before we get into the conversation about it,
do you have the Batman Nirvana song so you can play in the background every time something interesting happens?
No, I don't have. I don't have anything from that movie playing anywhere. But let's get your idea on a reaction. Well, not a reaction, but a review from a 1 out of 10. 1 being bad, The Mandalorian or the Boba Fett story.
Wow.
10 being, V for Vendetta.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your spot when it comes to the Batman series?
So I talked to a friend of mine the past couple of days, and she had never seen Batman until recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the talks, we were talking about how Batman should have been or what it should have been and the expectations of it. And I had told her it was a 6.5.
Okay.
Now, rethinking about it, and then going through sites that I can't talk about and watching bits and pieces and scrubbing through it the score's getting lower. So I don't.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because now I'm paying attention. Like the first time I go watch it, it was like, oh, cinematography, acting, music, let's see it play out. And then it's like now I'm not watching it for that. I'm watching it to see why'd they do this and how come it was like this and what the hell's the point of this, And dude, it just doesn't get better for me, man. So 6.5, I'll stick with that for this moment because I'm not gonna knock it all the way through. There were some cool things about it, but I'm not gonna say it was the best Batman movie we ever had. I'm not gonna say it was the best thing since sliced bread because everybody, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody who's watching, but it feels like everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid, man. It's like as soon as Batman came out, it's like, oh my god, it's so great! I love it. And it's
I totally get you with that one. Everybody out in the comments section, everybody out there in the radio lands, guys, leave us a comment here in the section. Let us know what you guys thought. Give us a scale of 1 to 10, what you guys felt about the Batman movie. We're going to be jumping right into conversations and stuff like that. So going right into it, we've given enough time. Brian, I wish you were here because Brian, of course, wanted to talk about this too. We're going to be talking straight spoiler talk. Me, myself, I'm kind of in the same boat. We're technically not going lower than what it is that I've already given it because I've just given it a 6 out of 10. I'm not really going by 5s or anything like that or by 10s. I'm just going straight
Sorry, Chris. Sorry. It's a 6 for me too.
No. I mean, 6.5 is good. Don't get me wrong. But as a matter of fact, we had I went with a group of my friends and one of my friends 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, was like, all right, guys, I'm tired of this shit. Bye. And he just got up and left.
Was that
Gilbert?
Was that Gil? Yeah.
Gilbert
Dude,
just
I saw his story, bro.
Out, dude.
Dude, his story was so funny. He was like, I just walked out of Batman. It's not worth it.
Yeah, he totally. And I get it. I didn't get it then because, for me, my expectations were pretty good. Yeah, it was about 50 minutes. My expectations went in really good. We had a show before I got to see it. And then I had my hospital thing. So I had all that time to sit on the idea of man, finally I get to come and see the Batman movie. I was really excited to see it. And I get it. I get where all the people are saying that they were excited about it, but I 100% was not excited. Now, we're going to get into a lot of this stuff, but through and through, I give it a 6 out of 10. and I'm sticking to it very, very hard, and that this is not one of my favorite Batman movies. Like, not at all. I think it's got to be under what is it? The Dark Knight. Like, it's got to be probably right above that, and that's like the lightest one of the three.
Bro, honestly, dude, like, I hate it because, dude, I'm a fan, like a huge
Like, I
fan.
wanted to like this.
I'm a huge fan of the Tim Burtons, bro. Like
Oh
Batman
yeah.
and Batman Returns. Like, to me, I'm always gonna put those top tier, and then I'd probably have Christian Bale second tier, and then everything else is like under it. But
Yeah, of course.
honestly, bro, like, okay, this is what I had said before I went to go see Batman with cousins, with family, with people that were so excited. I was like this. I was like, you know what? This Batman movie is either going to be the greatest Batman movie we've ever seen because it's going to be a Batman we've never seen before, or it's going to be the shittiest Batman movie we've ever seen because it is a Batman we've never seen before. Yeah. And then, like, people are like, I don't understand you. It's the same thing. I go, no, like, really think about it.
No, it wasn't the same thing.
And like, oh, dude, I don't know. Like, the Riddler, bro, like, he looked like a bondage slave, bro. Like, what was the point?
A bondage slave?
Yeah, with his gimp ass mask, you know, and then like trying to pull those like Jigsaw vibes, you know, like like, come on, bro.
Well, you know what? I get that. The character is a lot designed very different from the way it was in the comic books. And the thing is a lot of people don't realize that in the comic books, Batman follows a very interesting trope, which is like everyone has a specific theme. You know, Mr. Freeze has like a anti-freeze tank on his back and a thing on his head. Now in the next movie, is it just going to be he likes to be in the air condition? Like, the Penguin literally has a penguin nose, a lot of penguin attributes. The Penguin here didn't have any of those attributes at all. The Riddler literally dresses like almost like a ringleader of a circus while he's giving like a top hat. And the cane wasn't even introduced until after Jim Carrey's role.
Right.
And he's always like, but the thing is there was a lot of things that I just didn't like about the film. First off, the number one thing is I get that the director wanted to be very cinematography and wanted to kind of have really hard hitting and very emotional scenes, but he left the scenes very, very long and he kept recycling the same areas to the shoot again. So I don't know if anybody realized this or felt weird, but every time they went to the club, it was always the same shot to enter the club.
Yeah.
If he wanted to have an interview with someone or speak with someone secretly, they always met at the same building that was like going under construction at the same level, overlooking the city at the same exact time, every day, 3 or 4 times. First, it was Batman met up with Gordon. Then Gordon met Batman there. Then he met with Catwoman there. And then later Catwoman was beating up a dude there. But it was always in the same factor and in the same shot. Cinematography wise, you're not supposed to do that, especially if you're showing the vastness or the creativity of a specific room or venture into the area.
Right. Yeah, they could have just panned a little over to the left or right and it would have been a different
and
scene.
it would have been a lot more different or dynamic or some type of change. But there was a lot of stuff that were of constant recycled cinematography shots. It was, you see, it was done very lazily and you could feel it while you're watching it. And that's where you get the perpetration of like, wow, this movie's really long, or wow, this movie's kind of, well, I didn't like this scene. The other thing is,
they're here again.
The other thing that I didn't. Okay, so the actors, every one of the actors did an amazing job of their roles. The characters they're portrayed, they did a very, very great job. I thought so. I thought Robert Pattinson did a great job as Batman.
Yeah, I thought he did a great as Bruce Wayne.
I mean, but then again, I think that was the whole point. The whole point was that he didn't know how to be Bruce Wayne. I think that's the way they wrote him. But we got to remember, that's not the actor's fault. That's the writing's fault, and that's the director's fault.
But you got to think about the history of time, bro. Like Michael Keaton, he did a great Batman and Bruce Wayne. All right, Val Kilmer did a better Batman than he did Bruce Wayne. George Clooney did a better Bruce Wayne than he did Batman.
But we can chalk that up for what the director was trying to provide with. He's very inexperienced. And he's very much more absorbed by the Batman role rather than being himself, like in humanity. I mean, I can get that. And that's what I kind of chalk it up to because I don't want to nitpick. And that's kind of like, to me, I was like, well, I could see what they're doing, but they didn't nail it. They didn't nail it at all.
Right.
That was like, but then again, I didn't understand why he was so vulgar and rude and mean to Alfred 20 something years after his parents died. And it's been the only person that's had his back.
Because Alfred lied to him, bro.
To what part? Like, I mean, fuck. I mean, like, he didn't know that. Like, he didn't know that till he was in the fuck. Till he went to see Falcone. And then, and then the other thing too. Batman, for what it's worth, the director did a great job again. But the writers, he solved absolutely nothing in the case. Absolutely nothing. Nothing Batman. He solved. Yeah, he didn't do detective work. He looked, checked some shit out, saw that there was like a weird tool that's not, like, he didn't even know it was for carpet making or carpet fucking removal or whatever. He couldn't even figure that shit out. He didn't figure out a goddamn thing in the whole movie. Alfred was the one that figured out the fucking ciphers.
Yeah.
Fucking Commissioner Gordon was the one that was solving La Rata or whatever. And then the Penguin gave him the fucking answer. He didn't even fucking catch the Riddler. An old lady called in that she saw a weird dude at a cafe.
He just ordered Batman did pie, not
solve Batman. Whatever he solved incorrectly. The whole goddamn fucking movie. The whole movie he solved incorrectly. So a lot of people are like, "Oh man, dude, but the detective work." I get it. It sounds really great. Like the way that it's written out and the way that it all kind of perpetrates, it's really cool. But then again, Brian, look, watch, check it out. Brian, you said that the car scene was probably the coolest scene. And I agree. It was fun. And then at the end, they catch the Penguin, right? They fucking tie him up and they're there interrogating him. And the Penguin's like, "Are you guys dumb? That means the fucking rat. That's a rata. It's not the fucking there. You're saying it wrong." And then they leave him there. But I 100% guarantee that explosion on the expressway killed at least 5 people or 2 people or 1 people, and they didn't arrest him. They fucking let him go. Him and the commissioner let him fucking walk around like a penguin as a joke to end the scene, and they did not arrest him. He broke the fucking law.
That's every Batman, though.
He broke the law, dude. He broke the fucking law.
But that's every Batman. Every Batman lets their guys go. Even if he puts them in Arkham Asylum, they're out the next day. The point is, Batman won't get rid of his villains. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I get that part. But he's right there in front of the Boy Scout cop, Commissioner Gordon. They would have at least been like, "All right, man, lock him up. He just caused a huge accident on the expressway." I mean, wouldn't that be?
Well, yeah, but I mean, to be fair, bro, like he let Catwoman get away with a lot of shit, and that's because she was literally like.
I just want to know, what would they have chalked up the expressway accident as?
Chris is getting into like the background detail. I want to see the reports. Where are they?
Dude, I just want to know. Because that didn't make any sense to me.
So look, man. I see Alex commenting about how
Robert's fucking comment, dude. That's the best one, bro. It's Gotham. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just true. What it is, dude. That's
and all the cops are bought. All the cops are bought anyway, bro. So it's
yeah,
cool.
Except the ones that fucking Gordon found at the end.
Yeah,
Craig shoot fucking cops.
So Alex had mentioned that he's a big background music guy and the soundtrack sucks. So like, I'm gonna say this. The Nirvana song, I love the fact that they put it in. I just hate how they went about overusing it. Second, the score to me was amazing, but again, wrong points to put it in. Like when the Batmobile comes through the fire, that would have been the perfect time to hear that bass tone and like, oh shit, it's gonna get epic. But it just got quiet, and you just saw the Penguin like, oh, like, you know, what the fuck. So that could have been worked on, but I mean, okay, damn it, man, like.
The Imperial March, dude. That's all the song was. It was one note missing from the Imperial March. Okay, dude, Brian asked something that's very, very important, really, really quick, because this goes for both of us. Can we at least get anything you did like about this movie? Yes, I 100% can give you something I like about this movie, and it's not just the credits, dude.
I was gonna say the credits.
Oh, I knew you were. That's why I had to stop you. I 100%. I'll go first. I 100%, Brian, believe that this is probably the best world building movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I can literally see the sequels being fucking immaculate. Right now, we have a destroyed Gotham districts, the Penguin's back and being a mob boss, the city's destroyed. You have something political for the people to rally behind, to get the government behind. These are all the things that were always in the animated series when you were like watching the cartoon, and then all of a sudden the mayor comes out and goes, we're going to fix from the flood of 1352. We're really going to fix the city and the bottom swells. Like, this is what we're here to do. This is why I'm protesting, or this is why I'm running. And you know, and
bam,
you're kind of like,
Two-Face
oh, what the fuck is he talking about? Why are they talking about all this jargon? Well, now you at least know. You at least know the jargon they're going to be talking about. You see, because the thing is a lot of the times in Gotham City, when it comes to the comic book, they have districts where different people rule. They'll have like a Freeze district. They'll have a Penguin district, the Joker's district, the Riddler's district, the Scarecrow's district. They'll have everything broken up into sections. Just like when you play Arkham City and like the Joker has a section and Bane has a section, you have that now developed from this first movie. So that's what I liked about this film. I feel like the sequels will be great, except for the Joker.
Dude,
Joker sounds like ass.
Honestly, that cameo to me was the best part, even though it wasn't like a good Joker. But that cameo was the best part to me.
Did you like that, Frost?
Yeah, because out of 3 hours of bullshit that could have been done in less time, like that was the only part that got me like, oh fuck, something's gonna happen and it's over. Like there was no, you know what I'm saying? But like that's the only part that got me excited. Honestly, before I get into what I liked about it, what I hate is every Batman has become the same shit. It's always going to be Two-Face, always going to be Penguin, always going to be Riddler, always going to be Joker. But where's Clayface? Where's Scarface? Where's Calendar Man? Where's like all these other people?
About Calendar Man,
dude,
he's the biggest joke ever.
Dude, they might as well put him in because this whole movie was based off of 3 damn fucking graphic novels: The Longest Halloween, Batman Year One, and Hush. I mean, or you could have just put Calendar Man in here and it would have been a better movie to me.
You see, and this is what scares me about this kind of stuff. Because now that they took so much inspiration, especially from like Year One and Year Two, like what do you do if you ever want to actually do like Hush when they took inspiration from that already? Like what do you do? Yeah, Calendar Man, Kite Man. Fuck it, let's do Kite Man. Let's do a whole fucking movie about Kite Man. Like hey, don't even get me started about the war of riddles and jokes, dude. Everyone's been like, oh my god, fuck you, fuck you're there. That is not even close to like what the fucking comic books are about. It's a great series, and everyone's like, oh man, the war of jokes and riddles, and that's what they think is going to lead up to. This is not what the fuck it's going to lead up to. That is like the wrong idea to have. So my bad. I just went on a fucking stupid fucking vent there. Yeah. But yeah, I was not impressed by the cameo of the Joker, and the reason why I wasn't impressed was not because I don't want to see the Joker. Of course, you know, I think the Joker's a great villain. I think they've done him a bunch of million times. Of course, like you, I think there's a lot more of the Rogue that they can kind of mess with. But I think with a big enough arc, they can bring in a lot of those different elements rather than, I think Batman, when they make a film, he deserves to have more than one villain at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Like in this one, they had the Riddler, they had him, they had the, what's his name? The Riddler and the Penguin. And both of them had their own dynamics and how they played a part in the role. And they had Catwoman, if you want to consider her like a villain / hero. They all kind of played their independent roles, which did very well.
Falcon was more of the third villain.
Falcone. They all did very well, man. And it very well.
Honestly, to answer, I think it's Brian or Robert, because they were saying, you know, how'd you all give it a 6? It sounds more like a 3. So off the thing, acting was superb, which sucks because you would think that makes the movie better, but it didn't. So acting was great. That's 1 point for me. The actual times we got to see any action, like the fight scene, the car chase, that was amazing.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Like Chris said earlier, the idea of where this movie can take other sequels is great, but just like DC, I don't have faith in it because every time DC does something, they never keep it
consistent.
Yeah, consistent. So again, it's gonna end up like Snyder, like, oh, we saw this cool shit, and then well, what happened? Like that's it. And then even though I talk shit about it, I do give it props that it did try to get some of the source material from the earlier stuff because we had never seen that before. Like,
Yeah.
I love the scene where he like goes into his journal and it says year 2. So obviously you already know he did this for one whole year, which is like, holy shit. Okay, cool. And then I like the little detail where he takes off his mask and it's black smeared paint on his eyes because that made it feel more real. So that was cool to me because it was like, you know what? Like, now I can believe it. I do like the fact that when they introduced Catwoman, it wasn't so much like a campy like, hey, what's up? Like, it was like she was legit. I mean, so there's good points to this Batman. Is it the Batman for me? No. Is it the best Batman ever? No. I stay with my 6.5 because what is good about it, I can live with. But I'm definitely not buying the special edition. I'm definitely not gonna be like, oh my god, I need to own it. You know, like it's just something I can do without. Robert Pattinson did do a good job as Batman. I didn't like him as Bruce Wayne whatsoever. I feel that we should get an origin story of this Alfred because this Alfred was like, holy fuck.
He was a G, yeah, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
they
like,
really went off the Pennyworth storyline where you could tell he was like, you know, fucking Secret Service in England and all this other shit. So, yeah, he had some experience, man.
Yeah, well, like the friend I talked to earlier about Batman, she said the last 45 minutes were the best because that's when we actually got what could have been a Batman movie. Like, I mean, the beginning was great. The first 2 hours was like, why do we have to go through all this torture? Just like Alex said.
And you know what's even crazier than that is I kind of think the opposite. I think that the movie should have ended after the funeral and they should have cut it into 2 pieces. So like when it explodes and everything's in turmoil, the Riddler gets away. Like, I kind of feel like that was a good break in the film.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I feel that. I don't feel like it should have gone on and on and on and on because even at the end, like I was saying before, another reason why I didn't like this film is because they ended up just taking the Riddler and turning him into the Joker.
Yeah.
So what they did was they had this methodical, independently thinking character who was very psychotic, of course, in his own right mind, but more of a sociopath.
With a social media account.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he turns into like an agent of chaos and just starts doing everything that doesn't make sense. He blows up the city, no reason. Then he shoots the lady that he gets to help to become the new mayor because he didn't like the other mayor because they wanted change and he knew that one was corrupt, but he had them shoot the new mayor in the process, which made no sense because he was the purpose perpetrating that he wanted change in the system and she was already someone that was not connected. That was their change to purposely do it. But then Agent of Chaos, have a bunch of people show up and just start shooting people randomly. Then you had the cool fight scene of Batman fighting all of these people. Vengeance on the roof or whatever. And then you had that one scene where Batman injects himself with adrenaline or what I thought was venom, which is the Bane stuff. I think should have been the drug that they were pushing in the film, not the drops, which I think was stupid. I thought it should have been venom.
I think honestly it was adrenaline because I don't think Batman would take venom.
Yeah, he would. He's done it before in the comics. Yeah, he's done it before in the comics. He'd take anything. That motherfucker in the Dark Universe took the Doomsday virus to kill Superman because, you know, fucking, I don't know, Batman. Because he has his belt of shit or whatever. Yeah, fuck Batman. But like I was saying, he then injects himself with the adrenaline / venom and then continues to beat the shit out of the dude, right? Yeah. And then the camera pulls away and the Catwoman's like, oh my God, why did you do that? That's so bad. And you just look at the dude and his face is just casually red. Like, it's just casually like kind of like if you pushed his face a lot. Like, he didn't beat the shit out of him. I was expecting to see
Batman pulling punches.
Yeah, I was expecting to see a bloody fucking mess because he turned into a fiend for a minute, right?
Yeah.
And I was expecting, but then again, this is where I tell people when they tell me, man, this is just like 7. But if it was PG-13, and I'm like, that makes zero fucking sense. Like, you cannot have imagine taking the movie 7 and making it PG-13. You think it's gonna work?
No, it's not gonna work. But I get what they're saying about it being 7 because the Riddler is pretty much what's his name's role,
The
and then
Zodiac killer or whatever.
and
Like, I
then
mean,
fucking Gordon and Batman are pretty much Brad Pitt and
but
what's his name?
that's every detective story. I don't know why everybody automatically like shot it over to. Is it because it was filmed in like a dark setting?
No, dude, it's because Nirvana was in the background.
Is that why? Probably they
Yeah.
made it edgy with things because it did not remind me of Seven at all.
Well, dude, it did. Instead of like what's in the box, it was like who killed my parents?
Yeah.
Who killed my
What's in the
parents?
box? Oh, it's fucking it's last year's Christmas gift. I never gave it to you because there
A
was no violence in
PlayStation?
it.
No way. No, no.
Like 100%. The reason why I think Ben Affleck left this role
Because he
is
knew it was
because
gonna go
he
this
wanted
way.
to make it rated R. It needed violence.
Okay, question. Blade, first rated R superhero movie, or actually no, Punisher if you want to count the Dolph Lundgren one.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is like, okay, all our lives we've gone with PG-13 ratings on superhero movies. Tim Burton movies PG-13, but still very violent. I mean, even now, I mean, like you can question it and say it's a lot more toned down in comparison to what we do see now. But I mean, at the time, bro, like that should have been rated R. But okay, so the whole point is, do you think ever since Deadpool was openly rated R, ever since a lot of other comic book movies have come out to be rated R openly, do you think that put a stigma on us to like, you know what, we're not going to watch it unless it's rated R? Or is it, do you think it's more like we know the boundaries they can push and they're deciding not to push them?
That's why I like you, JD. That's why I like you.
I ask these questions.
Yeah, because I have a very similar question that I ask all the guests when I interview like celebrities, comic books and films and stuff like that. And I always ask them, do you think we've crossed the silver line in superhero films or the silver age when it comes to films in our age right now, where the typical bing bang pow superhero doesn't work anymore, and now it needs to be that they're banging each other or they're killing each other and ripping arms off? Like, does it need to be super vulgar and violent for it to make an effect anymore in the superhero world?
I feel that if the character in the comics is known for something like that, we should see it. So let's say we get another Batman movie and it has Joker in it. It should be rated R because we know Joker's going to do some sick, twisted shit. Or at least do something to mass destruction that's going to be very like, holy fuck, did we just see that? Like, for God's sakes, Joker killed babies for no fucking reason until somebody like came to talk to him. Will we ever see that? Probably not. But if we can see something similar, cool. Like Deadpool. Imagine watching Deadpool PG-13, which they did, which was stupid, but it was still acceptable because of the quirky antics that was still there. But will we see another Deadpool like that? Probably not, because Deadpool 1 was great, Deadpool 2 is great. Deadpool 3, I know, is fighting for a rated R staple, even though they say it is. But I think Ryan Reynolds even said that there's a couple things he wants done that I guess Disney hasn't said yes to yet because it's Disney.
Yeah, but then again, I don't think Disney's gonna be for like a dildo strap on butt banging scene.
Oh no,
but a couple cuss words and violence, I think they'll be behind.
Well, okay, yes, I'll give you that, but even at that, that's still censorship of the character. You know what I'm saying? Because Deadpool is so out there.
He doesn't do that in the comics.
No, I'm just saying.
That vulgar in the comics.
But Deadpool is so out there that like literally, even if you did or didn't see it, you expect it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now, but the way that Ryan Reynolds has portrayed the character and developed him in the last several years. Yeah.
And then as far as it goes for Disney pumps out $1 billion PG-13 movies, yes, this is true, but it doesn't mean that they're all good. Because honestly, to me, the best Marvel movie so far is No Way Home. I liked the last Endgame where everybody comes back and they kill Thanos, Infinity. but that's it. Like again, everybody's on the Kool-Aid just because it's on screen. It's like, oh my god, Marvel's so great, and it's like, no, it's not. There's a lot of shit they need to fix and do and go with. Do I give them credit on great looking movies? Sure, but I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, it's the best thing I've ever seen. Like No Way Home was amazing to me in the aspect of I can't believe they did what they did, and that's because I avoided spoilers for the longest time to watch that because I'm a Spider-Man fan.
And that's because I thought it sucked.
Well, I'll give it to you. There's parts where it's like, bro, like, come on, like, what are you doing? But like, it redeemed itself so well with a lot of other things that I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I can give it that. But still, nonetheless, I do say it's better than a lot of the other Marvel movies I've seen. So okay, I'm looking at comments right now. Okay, so at the same token, I can say that about Batman. Like, Batman is good as a movie, but it sucks as a Batman film.
Film. Yeah.
Because if I
I'm
go in there
100%
blinded, like I look at Batman and not know it's Batman, I'm gonna be like, oh man, that movie was great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But to know that it's Batman and it played out the way it did is like, nah, like it's not gonna work.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I was telling people on the way out of this that if this was a comic book, I would read it.
Oh
But
yeah,
that's because I can control the pacing of how I read it and look at the panels.
Mhm.
But it was so forced on staying on certain shots and certain angles and certain things that the director wanted to do that I feel like it just dragged. Almost every other scene dragged horrendously.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I feel like if they would have done this as like a 230 movie, like a 225 movie,
Dude, I
I
think
feel
it
it
could
would
have
have
been
been
done.
perfect, man.
It could have been done in 120 minutes, bro.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they could have minimized it tremendously, and I think it would have been fantastic. But it's just through and through. I just think I went in with really, really high expectations.
Yeah. Another thing too is dude, like honestly speaking of the Batman and rated R, the one thing I think is funny is how, and I've always said this, Marvel will always suck when it comes to animated movies, and they
Oh,
do a
DC's
badass
amazing.
job. They do a badass job live action. And then in DC, it's reversed. Live action, it's always bullshit, and the animation is always great. With the exception of the Killing Joke. Like, no one needs to know about the first 20 minutes of Barbara Gordon feeling the way she did and then getting fucked by her dad, essentially, and then going into the movie. But
And then not only that, being the fact that Barbara Gordon has an openly love relationship with Dick Grayson, and then
yeah,
it just shows that Bruce Wayne like just fucking bangs her out of nowhere.
dude, bro code is out the window, bro.
Dude, I was 100% just fucking disconnected. I was like, this movie's stupid.
Yeah, every time I watch it now, I always fast forward the first 20 and I get into where it actually takes off. But I wish we could actually see like a live action of The Dark Knight Returns or a live action of The Killing Joke, because I think those movies would do really well live action. And if you give it a rated R setting, I'm pretty sure they'll do great. But the thing is, why no one touches it live action, I don't understand.
I mean, it's because I think one of those things like it's a masterpiece, and they just want to make sure that they have all their nicks and crannies, so that they can do something like that without any repercussions or anything like anything that's going to tell them like, oh, we don't really think you should do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing that kind of holds them back from doing that. So,
Well, dude,
Brian, dude,
but
thank you for jumping in, man. We miss you, boy. Hopefully
Brian,
you feel
thank
better,
you.
man.
Thank you for the compliment, man. I'm so nervous. I have to fill in shoes right now.
Yeah, man. That kid stay on the up and up, man.
Right? No, but honestly, I think seeing a Batman Returns like with a Ben Affleck Batman would be amazing, bro. Like, he's already there. You know what I'm saying? Like especially in the Snyderverse, even though I talk shit about it, I love how they showed like, Batman in the trench coat, like he was more, you know, dirty and ready for shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's already like a Dark Knight Returns feel. So
Now,
I
if
would,
you were to bring Ben Affleck back, would you want to see him in? Because the thing is like in the Snyderverse in the Justice League film, I kind of feel like it still had that Saturday morning cartoon vibe. Like it wasn't as dark and hardcore as the Nolan show, and it wasn't as hard, of course, as the Matt Reeves show. Like in that dark noir comic
dude,
detective.
it's funny because I just said that the other day that the Snyderverse was shot with a dark tone, but it was very light.
Yeah, it was very
Because
dude, because it looked like a kids show.
yeah, and then like everything else that I've seen was very dark, and not that it wasn't, not in a light setting, but it still had dark tones to it, so it all made sense. Because even the Nolan, it's very bright, and I don't mean bright as in what it is, but the shots could have been darker. The cinematography could have gone a different route. I think the darkest it got was when Heath Ledger directed his own scene where he's holding the camera and like he's doing everything on his own, and
Yeah.
Nolan was like, "Yeah, go with it." Like that was pretty fucking dark. But besides that, it was like, okay, cool, but you still were captured by it, right? Same thing with Dark Knight Rises. It was very bright. The only dark scene ever was when he broke Batman's back because
Okay.
it was, but like what I'm saying is you were involved. Matt Reeves, perfect job setting the tone. It's just how they went about everything else is what fucked it up, But I do get you on the Snyderverse that it was very dark shot, but it was very light because it was like a cartoon. Like it was stuff that you would wake up and like, oh, I'm gonna eat my cereal. Let's go,
Yeah. Very light and shit like that. Not dark at all and stuff.
Well, it's pretty bad when I can say the animation series Batman, it was way better than the Snyderverse. The animation series Batman was like mini movies, and I think they did a great job with their storytelling for those like 26 minutes that they were on air.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about the sequel? What do we think is going to happen? What do we think is going to do?
Honestly, I think they're going to introduce Joker. Maybe not as hardcore, but he's going to have a stronger presence. I feel like maybe Two-Face might make an appearance. We'll probably see Penguin more evolved, like you said, because now he's going to be running shit as opposed to being a bitch. Because I think he was more of a bitch in this movie than he was a boss. And honestly, dude, I just want to bring in a new villain that we haven't seen. Because, dude, how crazy would it be to see Scarface, bro? I mean, it's a fucking puppet.
Well, did you hear the theory? Did you hear that the rumor is a part 2 that they're thinking about bringing in the Mr. Freeze?
Yeah, but we've seen it before. Even if it was Arnold, like
it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. I wouldn't really call that.
But even Gotham, dude, like Gotham portrayed Freeze pretty good. I mean, considering it was a TV show, but they did a pretty good job of Freeze. They did a good job of Fireflies. They did a good job with the Court of Owls, bro. Like Gotham being the show that it was, and people hated it or loved it. But I think it was very underrated because there were so many villain arcs that they did that was like, bro, we should be seeing this in a movie.
Grundy, didn't they?
Yeah, dude. That to me, not that was the best, but dude, I love the fact that they acknowledged it and they played it through because that was the first live action Solomon Grundy we've seen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I mean, it could be better, yes, but the point is that they did it is what was amazing to me.
So, who is it you want to see?
Honestly, if I could write a Batman movie and they can approve it, I want to see Clayface. I want to see Man-Bat. I want to see...
Man-Bat would be cool.
Dude, Man-Bat would be the shit. The closest thing we got to Man-Bat was Batman Forever when Val Kilmer had a flashback and it was that giant-ass bat because he visioned himself as the Man-Bat, but that's it. Like, that was the only thing we've ever seen of Man-Bat. But I want to see Clayface, Man-Bat. I want to see Scarface. I push for Scarface because animated series, that story arc was so, like, dark. It's like, why can't... Like, Matt Reeves probably could have done Scarface as the main villain in this one. I think it would have been a better movie. And then also, what is his name? He was another villain.
What did he look like?
He was the gang boss from Batman Returns.
Batman.
The one that led all the punks and stuff on the streets.
Batman Returns. Oh, you're talking about
Dark Knight Returns. There you go.
You're talking about the gang leader of the mutants.
Yeah, the gang leader of the mutants. I want to see.
I can't remember his name, but I know you're talking about the guy that he tells him, "You're not." What does he tell him? It's such a great fucking line. This isn't a battleground. This is a surgeon's table, and I'm the surgeon.
Yeah.
And he just starts beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, and it was voiced by RoboCop himself.
Yeah, man, dude, that was such a great fucking line. I'll never forget that shit.
Dude, but see, like, and I want to see that Robin too, man. I want to see Kelly as Robin. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see.
They are bringing her character out too in the Batwoman series.
But okay, but you see, like, this is what I mean about going back to like different backgrounds and how things are played out, right? Like, why does it have to be Batwoman that introduces this Robin? You know what I mean?
Because no one's gonna watch that show, and they need to steal from all the important characters so that they can make her
give
popular.
It flavor.
Yeah,
to give it spice.
I'm serious. Yeah, I'm 100%. That's why that's literally been one of the biggest talking points between me and Brian when it comes to like
The puppet one is called Scarface. That is the puppet one, Scarface.
Yeah, the Scarface.
Yeah.
Oh, Puppet Master.
No, he said puppet gangster.
Oh, I thought you said the mutant guy.
No, but Robert is saying that he would like to see the puppet gangster, which is Scarface.
He's talking about if it's not Toy Maker. Yeah, I think it's Toy Maker. But yeah, that's one of the biggest talking points that me and Brian are always talking about, because one of the biggest talking things we've been talking about was World War Hulk.
Oh
right?
man.
I'm a
Like
huge
I know very little about it, but what I do know about it, I know it'd be like a great film.
I'm a huge fucking fan of Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. That arc right there is probably one of the biggest masterpieces when it came to the Hulk storyline. What reinvigorated the character, brought people to love him again, brought a bunch of stuff. But Marvel ended up literally taking the entire story of Planet Hulk and giving it to Thor and Thor Ragnarok. Taika Waititi took the entire fucking story and gave it to Thor.
Well, I mean, he's a great director. I love him. He's up there with James Gunn.
They're good, but that doesn't.
But I don't like that he did that. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, he makes great films. He has great storytelling, but I don't like that he did do that, because Thor Ragnarok to me was one of the best films I saw, but I just hated the fact of how it went about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, they literally took the entire premise of the Planet Hulk storyline, and then with that, now they're saying, hey guys, guess what? The Hulk is finally going to get his chance. We're going to give you a World War Hulk. And it's like, okay, but why does he hate everybody on Earth?
Right.
Okay, why does he want to go after Charles, Tony Stark, Reed Richards, Black Bolt, Namor? Why does he want to go after these guys? And they'd be like, because they're mean to him. Be like, I don't give a fuck, dude. They didn't send him off into space and then blow up his ship and kill his whole fucking planet and family and kids and all this shit. Like, there's a difference. There's a whole established story in Planet Hulk that makes him angry enough to go.
The sun is getting really low, big guy.
Yeah, pretty much, right? But like, yeah, like that entire aspect of them stealing assets from a story to build another character, I think is shit. And that's the problem too with the situation with the Miss Marvel TV show that's coming out in Disney, is they've taken away the story of her being an Inhuman, and they're giving her like the Negan bands or the Nega bands, and they're making it to be like, oh look, she's gonna get the Nega bangs and she's gonna be awesome. Dude, everyone had a fucking pair of Nega bangs in the comics. There's nothing that's gonna be different of her power set that's compared to every other fucking Kree soldier that was like Marvel.
Well, okay, so going into this brings me to another point.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that I'm trying to put you out there on age, but I know you're old enough to understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
My hair puts me out there on age, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
No, man, you're a handsome son of a bitch, man.
Yeah, man, fucking 40's hard, man.
What? It's hard matter, bro.
Yeah, it's hard matter, man.
Okay, so, and like, all right. And I'm just putting this out there because I want you to get the spectrum of where I'm coming from.
Ooh.
Growing up, I love comics. I love all that stuff, right? I love some horror. I'm not a big horror fan. It takes a lot for me to like horror. And with that being said, I loved the new Scream 5, which we can probably talk about that on private terms. If you want to do a show about it, let's do it.
I haven't even seen it, dude.
Dude,
I'm so scared.
Dude, watch it, bro. Okay, so anyway, so with that being said, is this. One of my buddies who makes movies for a living, and I help him out with stuff, we had a conversation because he's currently in a project, and that project he wrote its original idea.
Nice.
But when it comes to explaining it to sell it to somebody, what can you compare it to that's relevant now? And the only reason I say that is because growing up, me and you, all we had was love stories, mysteries, action films.
Okay.
Yes, there was some comic films, but it was very loosely based on the comic, so technically it wasn't a full-on comic movie, right? Mm-hmm. But that's what we had. Then coming into the years that we are now, everywhere, bro, there's no such thing as any other movie besides horror or comic book films. And if you do get like the one or two inspirational stories, nobody gives a shit. Nobody talks about it. Like the movie Dog right now is actually a good movie, the one with Channing Tatum and everything, but no one's talking about it. They're talking about Batman. They're talking about every other horror movie or any other comic book movie that's coming out. or video game movie for that matter, because Uncharted is out. You know what I'm saying? So like,
and that's because the Uncharted movie got shit on too.
Dude, I haven't seen it yet. Because honestly, I love the video games. I don't want the movie to ruin it for me, but at the same time, I do want to see it. I just don't want to feel like I'm watching Spider-Man in a different skin because Tom Holland's in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to kind of break that vibe.
Yeah, especially because No Way Home just came out, and you know, whatever.
Still very fresh.
The whole thing is like I'll wait for it and I'll watch it. Honestly, I think it's probably one of the best movies we'd have for a video game adaptation so far.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, bro, a lot of the new kids now, all they know is comic book movies or horror. There's no such thing as like, oh, I watched a movie because it was a good love story, or it was a good coming of age movie, or it was a good inspirational film. It's just like, oh yeah, did you see Spider-Man? Did you see Batman? Did you see anything else that's under a comic name? You know, or did you see that one killer that's either possessed, the devil, or something supernatural? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we lost touch with what the art of cinema really is. And don't get me wrong, Tony Stark's death hit hard. A lot of other things hit hard in comic book movies that probably shouldn't have hit as hard, but that's part of writing and cinematography, and that's great. But like, what happened to the films where we didn't need a hero that was already established? Or what happened to the films that were just films that made you feel good because it's like, I can really relate to that because that is a normal average Joe or average Jane, and things happen.
Or a coming of age story or a hero story or journey.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I want to bring that back because I think superhero genre and horror genre are so oversaturated. And I mean, yeah, the companies are making money. They're making a bang for their buck. But people out there, even if you're a hardcore comic fan or horror fan, I'm pretty sure sometimes you just want to watch something that's not that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something that's out of that genre.
Yeah.
You know, if there's one genre like I don't understand, and it's so weird to say it, and it's so rude, but like romance films. Like I feel like that is like,
bro, this is a
dying
film right
breed,
here,
dude. I feel like that's a dying breed because like
this is a film right here, bro.
Romance
right here,
right here, just a story of you and I, man.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's one of those things. Like I haven't heard a good romance story in a long time.
Yeah, no,
and that would be like, don't get me wrong, man. Like I'm a sucker for Titanic, man.
Dude,
like I will sit the fuck down and watch Titanic, both DVDs.
Dude, James Cameron for Titanic, he took a story of a boat sinking and made it something relevant. Like, not that I'm saying it wasn't important. Like, we all understood it. We know what happens. But what enticed you to go watch that movie? You already know the ending. The boat sinks. Everybody dies. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he made it worth it. You know?
Yeah, he did.
And that's what I'm talking about, bro. Like the only reason you're gonna go to a movie is because Batman, Iron Man, or comic book related, or Scream, or Jigsaw, or Jason, or Freddy. You know,
like you go for a specific fan related thing, right?
Yeah, and like now it's just like no one's gonna watch a dog until it's free streaming, or until they sit with somebody who's gonna force them to watch it. No one's gonna go watch that new movie with Sandra Bullock where she's a writer and things.
With Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Like, dude, that preview looks amazing. I want to go see it, but no one's gonna go watch it because it's not comic book related. You know what I'm saying? And then that new Nicolas Cage movie where he's literally playing himself.
Nicolas Cage,
dude. Like,
I'm gonna watch the fuck out of that movie.
Dude, I'm gonna watch that too. We should go together and make a review.
Yeah, we totally go watch that movie. That movie, it looks fucking hype, dude.
Dude, it does, man. Like, it's so great. And then it has what's his name from Mandalorian, the Pascal guy.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. So it's like, and I'm not shitting on it. Like, it's great, man. Like, cool. Make all the comic book movies you want. But there's other comic titles that are out there. There's other types of movies that can be made. Like, I'm really pissed about Kick-Ass because Kick-Ass was the first panel-to-panel comic book movie that I really enjoyed. The only thing about it was one of the characters' costumes was different just because it was too graphic, I guess, to put in the movie, even though that movie had a lot of graphic scenes in it. And I loved the story arc of it. I loved that they set it up for a third one, but the third one didn't go because Chloe Grace got mad that it was the highest downloaded pirated movie before it even came out on Blu-ray.
Now look at her.
Yeah, so like
now look at her.
Yeah, now
called
look
out
at her.
by Khloe Kardashian and shit.
Yeah, and then even at that, it's all like, what did you do? You just ended a franchise that was probably going to boost your career more because you felt bad that it got pirated, even though people still bought that film as soon as it came out and still went to theater to go pay for it. So what money were you losing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
movie,
like Kick-Ass 1, great. Kick-Ass 2, amazing. And I mean, people are gonna like, oh, Kick-Ass 2 didn't follow the, but yeah, it did. It followed the story of Hit Girl. So Kick-Ass 1 was Kick-Ass 1. Kick-Ass 2 was more Hit Girl. Kick-Ass 3 was really gonna be Kick-Ass 2. But you know, whatever. I can go on and on about it. But the whole thing is like, we need some good coming of age movies, or at least comic books that no one looked at. Like, I think The Boys would make a great movie, but I mean, the TV show is doing well, so I don't want to take away from it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but then you have stories like the whole Moon Knight story that's coming. Are you talking about that we need more stories that are more like the rated R style?
Well, not so much rated R, but I guess more to connect with, man. I mean, because yeah, Peter Parker is a teenage boy. You could relate to going to college. You can relate to having a girlfriend and a best friend, but you're not going to have a web shootout and you're going to go fight crime the next day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like same thing with Moon Knight. Like, I mean, I guess mental health or just multiple personalities. Yeah, you could probably feel what he's feeling, but you're not going to go and fight crime the next day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm just going hard on it, bro. It's because like again, you as a creator and me as a creator, there's only 7 different ways you can make a story, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you think you're thinking out of the box, it's still going to play out in one of those 7 different ways, right?
Yeah.
It's just, at the end of the day, man, I want more like Me and You type movies, real life movies, not so much like something bigger is at stake. You know, like I want to be able to have like movies like Office Space again, or like
You see, and that's crazy because I kind of miss like the Indiana Jones style films.
Oh, those are good too, man. You know,
Yeah.
but see, that's based off a novel or
And you know what? You know what else? Which I was recently kind of happy about. I was missing the whole like the Explorers or the Flight of the Navigators vibe.
Yeah.
You remember those movies like back in the 80s and like early 90s and stuff?
Yeah.
Where they had a lot of like the Goonies, where you had like
Yeah,
these
dude,
kids
yeah.
going out there. It's very much, of course, like the Stranger Things stuff, right?
Yeah.
And Stranger Things hits it right on the button. But what Stranger Things does very well is it tells 3 different types of stories. One of them is the perspective of the children. The next one is the perspective of the high school kids. That's more like Supernatural, the TV show. And then you have your perspective from the adults. That's like a straight up like horror film where the kids, it's like an action adventure, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael Betancourt, my boy, jumping right in here. I had a really, really great time. You know, speaking of Batman and having the expectation that I did and it not reaching the expectations that it was, because it wasn't the fact that the movie was bad. Great world building, great characters, great actors playing the roles. The story just fell short and was dragged on way too much.
Yeah.
But I was instantly taken in by the Atom Project.
Dude, that movie to me was a chef's kiss for what's going on right now as far as movies go.
That was a very, very fun film, man.
It was from beginning to end too. Like there was no time in it where I felt, you know what, I'll watch this later. Like I wanted to keep it going. And I don't know if that's me being biased because my man crush is Ryan Reynolds, but I feel that everything in there was great. Like
my man crush is Zoe Deschanel, or what's her name? Zoe.
Yeah, but she's not a man, bro.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate.
Man.
But yeah, dude, fucking Atom Project. I was going in there kind of like, I don't know, man, this is gonna be kind of silly, or it's a Ryan Reynolds film, and he was like doing like the God film or the one where he was trapped in a casket. Like Ryan Reynolds,
dude, that one Buried Alive was pretty good.
Yeah, it was all right. It was cool. Dude, it was a cool concept.
Well, yeah, but it took place in a whole casket. And
yeah, like, that's the only place it went, right?
The anxiety was like crazy, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna say like I'm gonna watch it over and over again.
No, fuck no. There's nothing about it, but like just the experience of him. I mean, it's like a really cool one-act play.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it reminded me of. Just a very like a one-act play.
The vagina monologues. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. Just something simple, something like a guy on a couch, but he's just trapped in a fucking box, and that's all he's got. And it was a whole fucking movie. I was expecting it to be like that because there was a point in Ryan Reynolds' career that he was just the king of B, man, the king of fucking red box films. He was just taking roles and just going out there and just doing shit.
Yeah, Green Lantern, you know.
But yeah, Green Lantern was kind of like a bigger. Tiger Waititi was in it with him, and you know you expected more. But lo and behold, the Adam Project came out. Mark Ruffalo's in it. Fucking Jennifer, Aniston or Garner, right?
No,
Jennifer Garner?
Jennifer Garner. Electra
Jennifer
herself.
Garner's in it as a mom. The little boy, I don't even know his fucking name, but God bless his little tiny cart. He's amazing, man.
Literally, if Ryan Reynolds had a boy, that would be his kid.
Well, that was the whole thing. From what I heard, that little kid memorized the entire script of Deadpool 2.
Oh yeah, I saw that where Ryan Reynolds is he's doing a video, I think on set, and the kid was just doing everything in the background.
Yeah, that was his shit. Like for a minute, that's what he was going around doing, and people were videotaping him because he could like monologue the whole movie. Dang. And then it just so happens they got him for this film, and he knocked the idea of the mannerisms and the attitude of Ryan Reynolds as a child fucking so well.
Yeah.
That little kid's going to be fucking doing films for the rest of his life. He did such an amazing job. I recommend for people to see the Adam Project. It's such a refreshing, fun film. It does its own kind of twist on time travel, which right now, guys, we're about to hit a weird pinnacle where like every movie's going to come out and either do a multiverse or time travel. So be prepared to be totally fucking hating time travel and the multiverse. Prepared to see a bunch of shit movies that don't get it right. Like that's what's going to end up happening in the next like 10 years.
Dude, speaking of multiverses, I'm excited. Not because like I want to watch it, I just want to see. But I'm excited for Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness, not because what it's gonna open up, but the rumors I hear about characters.
Tell me, what is this? Tell me your rumors.
So the rumors I hear about different actors playing established roles, but that's because that's their character in the multiverse.
I must know. Who are you talking about?
So I heard Tom Cruise is going to be Tony Stark in a different universe. Then I heard that Daniel Craig was going to play Magneto from the multiverse.
Daniel Craig?
Yeah, he was going to be a Magneto from a different multiverse. Not because like they're recasting, but because literally from a multiverse, right?
Yeah, it could be anybody.
So like I want to see how that plays out because that reminds me of Austin Powers 3. When they're making the Austin Powers movie, and you had
it's just random fucking people, random actors and shit.
You had Tom Cruise play Austin, and then you had Danny DeVito play Mini-Me, and all that shit.
There's been talks about people saying that they want the Wolverine Danny DeVito to come out.
Oh my god!
Because there's a fucking fan art of Danny DeVito as Wolverine.
Is he in the yellow spandex?
No, he's just without a shirt, or no, he's in a muscle shirt, and he just has like the 3 claws and is still bald and like. It's Danny DeVito with claws, dude. That's literally what it is.
Honestly,
I'm playing Baby Groot. Michael Betancourt playing Baby Groot. That's awesome, dude.
Dude, no cap. I think Danny DeVito could probably play any character, bro.
Oh, dude, Danny DeVito would be hilarious to play any character.
I mean,
like he literally would. Dude, would I like to see him as fucking Wolverine? Oh, dude, I would kill to see that.
Dude,
but that'll never happen. That's such a fucking long shot.
Imagine him in Face Off. Like, you know, playing John Travolta's role.
John Travolta's character?
Or imagine him in like the Terminator or Predator, bro. Like, you know, I think he could do it.
I think it'd be cool if he was one of the random one of the random Terminators that they just made a bunch of little Danny DeVitos instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger because he was the twin, remember?
Yeah, or imagine Terminator is still Arnold. But Danny DeVito is the Terminator that needs to kill John Connor. It's like you John Connor or what? Let me kill you.
No. Remember when they back in the 80s they did a film together? Danny DeVito and twins. And that was the thing is they were supposed to be twins. So like, what if you take Terminator and you say, oh well, this is supposed to be like the evolution because this is what we got from the same DNA / gene pool. Yeah. This is the same offspring. Well. And it comes out to be a Danny DeVito variant of the Terminator. Man, dude, JD, that would be fucking legit, man.
Dude, we need to let's find out how to do deep fakes and
Deep fakes and just do.
let's make a Terminator.
Can you imagine
short.
like the war scene with all the Arnold Schwarzeneggers and little Danny DeVito's walking next to each other, like
Oh
the little
god,
tiny versions and just firing guns and stuff. Ah,
dude,
man, I would totally love to see that. That would be cool. Danny
DeVito's
DeVito as
Mole
Mole
Man?
Man in the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four movie as a villain.
No, dude, Danny DeVito is the Thing, bro.
Oh, that was JD, the Silver Surfer, dude.
Nah,
Just paint him up and put him on a little boogie board and shit, or what?
hell yeah. No, what was I gonna say, man?
So talk about Doctor Strange too.
Yeah. So yeah, man, like I kind of want to see that because of that. You know what I mean? Just because of that one aspect. Because like I said, Marvel doesn't hit me like, oh my god, it's a Marvel movie, so I have to go watch it. Like, no, I have to be invested in the character, or I have to understand the fact of like I like that character. It's not like I'm gonna go watch it just because it's Marvel. You know, the same thing with DC. Like, there's so much DC stuff I don't watch. Like, people are like, "Oh, did you watch Flash on CW? Did you watch this on that?" I was like, "No," like, because I don't care. Like,
I don't care about that too much.
Yeah, like it's either stuff I like or not. And I mean, it's all preference, right? But again, it just goes to, I think everybody drinks the Kool-Aid, man. Like I remember growing up, and I've talked to my buddy Chris Rodriguez about this, and he brings it up all the time. And I've talked to a bunch of other people who know, who feel the same, is that growing up, man, to like comic books or to be anything, you were a nerd, you got your ass kicked, or you were like put down. Like, it's like, oh, you like comic books? Oh, you fucking pussy, like whatever. Yeah. And then nowadays, everybody and their mom is about it. But it's like, not to be an elitist or a realist or whatever about it, or an ageist. But the thing is that, like, literally, these people that are saying movies like Batman are so good is like, are you really that fan? Or are you just saying it's good because it has Batman in the title and this is probably your first big premiere that you went to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like,
or is it something that's hyped for it right now, right? Is it something that values you because you get to put it on your Instagram or your Facebook that you're excited to watch something,
right,
and whatnot?
Right. Like even with like, okay, so I'm gonna go back to Scream just because I did have a heated argument with somebody about it. Someone put, oh man, Scream is good, I guess, but you know, it's whatever to me. It's like, okay, cool. And then later that person is writing about how it had nothing to do with what Scream is about. And then I dug deeper and I was like, okay, one, do you even know what Scream is? Have you seen the originals? Do you know the story? Do you know how it works? Type shit, right? That person had nothing to say about it. But yet, if you're a fan and you watch it, or you understand the world of Ghostface, you're going to know why 5 did what it did. You're going to understand why it did what it did. And you'll probably walk out like, holy shit, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And again, that's not me being biased. It's just everybody I talk to who is a fan feels the same way. Mm-hmm. So this person was like, well, look, man, you got to understand, I was born, you know, like at this time, and this is what I saw. So all they knew was part 4 and maybe a little bit of part 3, right? They didn't know 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So for them to understand 5 was like, bro, come on. But the thing that I'm saying is like talk shit, yes, or have your opinion, yes,
but know the source material.
Yeah, but at least know what you're talking about, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I said earlier, I can't really speak on Miss Marvel or anything like that because I don't pay attention to that. I'm not in the lore. I mean, I might have heard her name hinted here and there because of other movies and other characters that walk around her, but I don't know her origin story. I don't understand why she is what she is. And I got educated today with you about it. Okay, cool. You know, am I interested to watch it? Sure. But I'm not invested to where as soon as it comes out, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm watching it. You know?
Yeah, even myself, man, even with that situation, like, I think that slowly and surely Marvel is catching up to itself in the comic books, and the comic books suck. Like, all the comic books are like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try to back it up. I'm not going to be like some kind of weird normie that says everything's amazing. They suck. They a lot of them don't get sales. A lot of them have no interesting concepts. A lot of them aren't doing anything original anymore. They're just throwing out all of these different factors because they want to appease to certain groups in society and whatnot. Those people don't buy comics. They don't make that shit roll. And I feel like the movies are now catching up to that essence, but the movies are going to try and fix what the comic books suck at.
Yeah.
So that's where that's the only thing I'm kind of interested in. Like with Doctor Strange 2, they're introducing America Chavez. America
Okay.
Chavez was very, very good in the Ultimates comic book. There were certain comic books in the Teen Titans that she was okay in. And then in her solo series, it was complete other fucking dumpster fire, garbage, trash. Don't even touch it. Fucking clean your eyes with alcohol, sanitize them, coronavirus all over the place. Like, it just sucked. It sucked.
Yeah.
And now we have the introduction of this character, which nobody asked for. But I think that she has the opportunity to be an important role. But there's a lot of fixing. But is this the place to fix them?
Honestly, that's one of those questions that, like, do you really want to ask that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, man, people are gonna probably say, they're probably gonna say, yes, this would be the place to fix it. But then, how does that become canon or meta? You know what I mean?
Yeah, where do you go from there in the comic books? Because if
like-
you go read her in the comic books, you're going to be like, wow, this character sucks.
Well, it's like, what is it, Avengers 2? How it just started? And I'm not saying like, oh, well, you need to be an elitist for it. But apparently what I understood was you had to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to understand what they were doing in the beginning.
In that snowfield, right? In that snow
in
area?
Avengers 2, yeah. And it's like, no one has that time, bro. And I mean,
Yeah,
even
but
if
not
they
only
do,
that, then Marvel comes
gonna-
out and says that fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ain't even canon to the movies.
and then you're like, what are we doing at this
what are we
point?
doing? Like, why is it canon only when it wants to be and not when it needs to be? Or what is it? Like,
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah.
And I understand, like, that's why they're kind of going in this aspect of like doing the small 7-episode miniseries that they're starting to do in the Disney Plus series.
Uh-huh.
And, the quality of the shows are a lot better. The cinematography is a lot more cooler. But then again, they end up writing themselves into some stupid shit when they don't have Kevin Feige and all the dudes to watch their back.
Yeah.
You look at the Loki series, and the Loki series wrote themselves into a weird corner when it came to the Infinity Stones by making it to where the Infinity Stones don't work outside of their universes, right?
And
that was a big rule.
How accessible they are.
Yeah, and how accessible are. But then all of a sudden they brought in What If, and then you had the What If Ultron all of a sudden jumping between multiverses and all this stuff, fucking using the Infinity Stones like it was, like it was nothing. And it's like, wait a minute. So does that mean since he can use his, then the galaxies he's jumping through in the universe, they can use theirs also? So you can have like 80 fucking characters with all sets of Infinity Stones just fucking duking it out.
Yeah,
like that doesn't make any sense.
And it makes the whole Thanos aspect, it makes the whole Endgame aspect, it makes the whole
look like trash, dude. Look like nothing.
Like it's like, so why were we invested when anybody can do this at this point?
Yeah, and then Ultron fucking, or what is it? Vision tanks Thanos with one shot of his laser beam.
Yeah.
Why didn't he fucking do that at the fucking Infinity War story?
Yeah, why did you get your stone ripped out like a bitch? No.
Yeah, dude, like that's just lazy writing, man.
Yeah, but see, I think it was Robert, or it could have been Brian earlier, that said, they pump out PG-13 $1 billion movies.
That was Brian.
So like, I mean, at the end of the day, again, with a bunch of friends I have that are in the industry and that write, and then even with you, because I know you're very knowledgeable about it, I just think in the end, it really is politically charged and money charged. Like that's all it is. So like right now, they can have Spider-Man pull a Nas X or something. You know what I'm saying? And like, it would be okay because that made money, and for some reason the demographic loved it. So let's just use that. You know what I mean? And that's just a poor example, but I'm just saying, like, anything will fly as long as there's money and as long as like something political is behind it, because they can pay people off to write good reviews. Like, I think everybody who saw Batman that reviewed it, like a legit reviewer source, was paid off. Because literally, how are you going to say half the stuff you said about it when it's like, I know that you watch other movies and you've literally shat on them for less? You know what I'm saying? So it's
and you know what's even crazier is like everyone was talking about the score for Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I thought it was mediocre, man. I thought it was.
Well, like I said, I like the score. I just don't like how it was placed.
Yeah, because I didn't remember anything about it except for the fucking loud tubas and baritones on that one part. And then other than that, I was kind of like, dude.
Well, I kind of.
It only happens when he punches someone.
Vengeance done.
Dun, 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 dun. And then there's no music.
So one of the scores, I actually listened to it like on YouTube, like someone already has the score up.
Okay.
And I love it because listening to it without the context of the video, you hear hints of the animation series, you hear hints of the Tim Burton Batman, and I loved it because it played homage to all that. Would I use it for the movie? Probably not, now that I heard it that way. And then even at that, in the movie, like I said, it was wrongly placed, man. Like there were so many moments, me as a creator, that would have been like, this is when it should hit,
This is where it
and
should
it
be.
didn't. Or, this is when it should be playing, and it didn't. And I was like, man, like that was so disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get that. I mean, it's just,
It's like
I
the
mean,
Matrix.
I get it though. I get it because it's very large. That's
Yeah.
the easiest way I could put it. Is the score is very large.
Well, it's like the Matrix. Like every time Neo finds something with his powers, you hear that weird like, din, 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 din. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that,
yeah. And they
that-
have like that
and
certain sound that comes out, right?
but like it makes sense and it keeps you invested, right? But to me, I think that was perfect timing on the Wachowski brothers and now sisters that did the movie, right? And I feel like that timing was missing in Batman.
Oh yeah.
Like and especially like with Keaton Batman or any other Batman we've seen, even Christian Bale's Batman, all the score points were so superb.
Yeah.
Like there was never a time when I can feel disconnected because the score didn't hit. Like when Joker came and you hear
it was
that
masterful.
that string, it's like, oh shit, like okay, cool. Keaton Batman when something badass happened, like dun, 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 shit like that.
I think overall the score it was okay. I just feel like they were missing a lot of the parts where they should have had it and where they shouldn't have, and dynamically how they had it in it so strong. And then other times it was like non-existent, like to where it was like complete silence.
Oh yeah.
The car, the Batmobile, how did you feel about it?
I let it slide because it's year 2 and I see the idea of where they want to go with it. Especially when he rolled up in the legit Stingray that was actually modeled for the Keaton Batmobile. Like when he was Bruce Wayne, he rolled up in it. I was like, dude, okay, cool. So like, not that I'm looking forward to sequels, but if they do make a sequel or they keep it going and it tends to get better, I'm pretty sure it's going to evolve into almost what the Keaton Batmobile looks like without it being the Keaton Batmobile.
Okay.
I feel that. Just because
I dug the design of this one. I like that they made it kind of like this, like
an everyday car.
Yeah, you could tell this dude was just putting it together and wasn't like, yo, let me go to Lucius Fox and let me have him build me a fucking a vehicle that we were gonna do for the government and people were testing and they just shelved it and stuff. So that means, because that was the only thing is a lot of the technology that they were using in the Christian Bale Batman was being used by the military in some way or was in testing for the military. Yeah. Which means someone else knew about it already.
Right.
Which means Batman did not design it. He didn't do anything for it.
Okay, fine. But given that, this dude had a car, which I'm pretty sure was bulletproof. And yeah, he fixed on it, right? But you can't tell me that this Batman didn't have any ties to any military, especially when he's walking through the alleyway and they're shooting the fuck out of him and he walks through it like nothing.
Well, I mean, you're talking about his suit?
Yeah.
Oh, I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated every aspect to that because he was just like he's like a bullet sponge.
And then even at that, bro, one point that the one of my friends I was talking to about Batman is when he went to go deactivate that collar and it blew
up in his fucking face.
How did he not die? Or how was his face not mangled?
Yeah, that kind of like, those elements have a tendency to take the only violence out of the film out of me. That's when I knew 100% we were watching a PG-13 film that wasn't going to change that rating. It wasn't going to take chances. It wasn't going to be a little bit of blood. There wasn't going to be anything like that. It's like you look at the murder weapon and the dude's beating the shit out of someone and you can hear like it hitting a cantaloupe, like it's like sloshing. Yeah. And then you look at the murder weapon, there's no blood on it.
It's clean.
It's clean, like squeaky clean. So I was kind of like, man, dude, like it's never gonna fold. Yeah, I would have understood if like it was about to explode and Batman covers himself with his cape and he gets blown back or whatever. But
or even if it blew up right before he got there to where there was enough distance to believe he couldn't be that badly harmed, but
yeah,
like it still blew him back.
That technically should have killed a man, even if he was behind armor, right? Like his body armor.
Because that explosion radius and that power alone would crush guts and bones.
Yeah. I was gonna say like that pressure would inside of his body like fucking rupture at least something. Yeah. And then right after that scene, like he's fucking sleeping on a desk at the police station, then stands up and starts punching cops in the mouth. And no one gives a shit.
And then his wingsuit, bro.
Trash.
When he jumped off the building and it was a legit wingsuit.
I mean, man, dude, like, what? Let me ask you something as just a creator and a fan of the series. Would it have been such a what did he say? His organs would have been banana pudding, bro, with that explosion. Yeah, it would have been. So would his face, because he had nothing to protect his face. Nothing to protect his face. And not only that, in an earlier scene when he takes his mask off to show the black eyeliner, his mask is rubber. Yeah. Like it comes off like rubber. So it's 100% not even metal. It's not carbon fiber. No solid material. It's literally like rubber. Just fucking folds in his hand. I was like, fuck this dude. Fucking movie. But I chalked it up for it being a fantasy. I get it. Fucking filmmaking. You have to have props like that. Like I get it. But what would it have hurt to make the hang glider wingsuit instead of the wingsuit like fucking Battlefield fucking 2042?
Oh man.
Like what would it have done just to extend it and make it look like bat wings? See, like what would it have hurt?
Well, even at that, Christian Bale, when he's doing that whole thing with his hand to show that it flexes and gets tough and then gets like lowered, like we understood the technology was there, and even in real life that technology exists.
But so even like, okay, wait a minute, the fucking shit with his fingers. Yeah, there's no way in fucking hell someone like a human being that their fingers wouldn't snap the fuck off with the pressure of the wind. So let's say that Christian, but my brain when I saw that was like, whoa, Batman looking wingsuit, how cool. They move like bat wings. Like I was all about it. Okay, I didn't have to question it.
But even at that, it was only a test. It wasn't him actually doing that for his hands. Like he was just testing that material to be like, oh, this is what it can do. So then obviously he implicated it in the suit to where his cape would do the similar thing to help him glide, right? Yeah. So like
but it looked like a fucking bat.
Yeah.
He looked like a flying squirrel.
And it's the same. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing with Michael Keaton. I think in Batman Returns, like they throw the girl off the roof and he jumps down and glides down through all the bats.
And he has the bat. He has the fucking bat wing that looks like the fucking like his bat suit. Like like his emblem. Why the fuck did they do this? Like I get the fact that they wanted to make him like, oh well, you know what? He's still fairly new. Let's make him to where he fucking hits the bridge and he fucking slams on the ground, and then he's got to like limp away to go find Alfred. He doesn't even call Alfred. He just limps away.
Dude, he's fairly new, but the motherfucker has a bat signal. Like, I don't get how that existed. Like, to me, it's like that should have come into like year 4 or 5 of like, okay, I've been doing this so hardcore. I put fear in the city that bad that now if they need me, they will call me, and this is how they'll do it. You know what I mean? And then like even like George said, like it was pretty funny how they did find the identity of Batman at the end. Like it's
he didn't figure it out. He didn't know he was Batman. Yeah. He never figured it out, but like it was funny watching him like be like scared knowing that this dude might have figured out his whole shit. Yeah. But I mean he stuck through it. He was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna say I am. I'm not gonna be like you son of a bitch or whatever."
But
like,
how obvious is it that he leaves the room as soon as Bruce Wayne's mentioned? Like it's all like his next target is Bruce Wayne.
How obvious is it not to figure out that he's fucking Batman? He's so trash at it, man. I don't know. It's one of those things. Like this movie had a lot of expectations, had a lot of growth, and had a lot of movements, but very, very underwhelming. Not as hyped as I thought people were telling me it was going to be. Yeah. Was it a good movie? I mean, it was okay. Would I watch it again? Fuck no.
Well, like I said earlier, man, great film, but it's not a Batman film. Like it's a good movie of just to be a movie, but it's not a Batman film.
Yo, you know what else made me kind of upset?
Huh?
Is people were telling me that this movie was 100% a detective film and his detective skills were really, really good and he did all this shit. But yet
Bro,
when he got the pictures of them outside the club, he never
yeah.
checked to where the vantage point was
Nope.
of where the pictures were taken.
Nope.
And if he would have figured that out, he would have figured out exactly where the fucking Riddler lives.
Oh yeah.
Because that was
Seriously.
from his own fucking apartment that they took the pictures.
Yeah.
The pictures of where that fucking mayor guy was hanging out with that chick and in that club in the very beginning, the main Russian chick and the one that
Yeah.
Catwoman's all about. If
Mhm.
Batman would have been like, where were these pictures taken? He would have automatically gone to the Riddler's apartment.
Bro, but then it wouldn't have been 3 hours of bullshit.
Then there you go. That would have been the saving grace if he was an actually good detective.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was probably one of the because that's the whole thing is like when you get any type of fucking information when it comes to a picture, one of the first thing is like, okay, where's the origin of this photo? Where does it begin? Where's the vantage point? Where are they shooting this shot from?
Yeah.
Like, how could that be overlooked by everyone? Everyone.
Yeah.
It was out in the public too.
Yeah. Even the cops didn't even ask that question.
I don't know. It's so weird, man. But yeah, I get it. I get where people are saying that it's very much like the Zodiac killer. Everybody's
Yeah.
comparing the Riddler to the Zodiac killer because they had to kind of give him this more relatable sociopath, psychotic terrorist vibe. I didn't like at the very end, like I said earlier, when they just turned him into like an agent of chaos.
Yeah.
I didn't like that the Riddler for being a person who's gonna be the person that solves my shit because I love for people to do puzzles and blah blah blah. He 100% comes out on his social media and just tells everybody his plan and
Yeah.
and like literally just says, "Hey guys, well, I'm gonna blow up the city," even though that's
Honestly,
the fucking like thing I'm trying to get everybody to solve. So be
honestly,
ready
I think that was the most graphic part of that movie.
when he blows up the city
No, no,
or the social media.
when his social media, because if you think about it, all those comments that were written were never actually physically said. So if you read it, that impacted you different. So like there was a comment in there is like, don't forget to wear the plastic wrap around your head. That way no hair follicles get left behind, right? So that's pretty intense. Then even at that,
But he had 500 followers, dude.
yeah, I know, but even at that, they're like talking about different calibers, different weapons. Like it's so much in detail of like how fucked that situation really is that if you didn't read those comments, then you're not really gonna get the impact. But even at that, I think that alone is like
Yeah,
it's
but that
pretty
was
gruesome.
supposed to be social commentary about like the militia groups that are in society nowadays. Where like if you
Yeah,
put up someone with an airsoft gun, then you get like 40 people who play Warzone that are like, oh, but that's this kind of gun and you can add this kind of attachment and it's a fight. And it's like, dude, bro, like shut the
did
fuck up. Yeah,
yeah,
just shut the fuck up. You don't know anything
yeah,
about what you're talking about. You're just a weird LARPer. You're
or
just buying guns and just someone at the shooting range that rents a gun for an hour and they're
like
taking
like
pictures like they've been in the war for fucking 500 years.
like that meme of that kid that's gonna get in a fight. He's like, I'm ready to fight. Call of Duty
Yeah,
2.
he's playing all his fucking game and his fucking tier code or whatever.
It's like, bro, you didn't even do anything. Like, you just
But
pressed the
it's like
button.
that. It
Yeah.
has that vibe when you're reading the comments of the Riddler's fucking fan section, whatever you want to call them, that they're kind of like these militia groups that are around that all of these like social commentaries kind of like perpetrate as like the right elitists, ones that are like the guys that all bunker out in the middle of the forest and they have guns and they meet up and they drink Milwaukee's best and they talk
Wow.
about the you know what I mean? Like you know exactly
Dude,
what I'm talking about.
that's so detailed. Like, Milwaukee's best.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just drinking trash beer. They don't drink IPAs like all the fucking the Regals of the world. Um, yeah, man, they made it to where it was like that, and I was kind of like taken with that. Where I would even, as a person who reads like a fucking, comic books fairly like for a long while, I hate Batman. I think Batman's one of the most shit characters in comic books because of
So,
the fact that his fan base probably the most toxic fan base in the world. That's like, oh, dude, Batman tanks everyone if he has 30 minutes. Fuck out
prep
of
time,
here,
bro.
dude.
Prep
Yeah,
time.
prep time. Fuck out of here, dude. You're gonna tell me he's gonna stop Batman? Batman just grab his ass and throw him. If Batman was to literally grab him and just throw him 15 feet in the air, Batman would fall and break his fucking legs, dude. Like, I mean, what do you expect? He's a human being. I get it. He's fucking smart and he has money, but like that only gets you so fucking far, dude.
You know what I want to see? Legitimately, George, I'm going to answer that question right now in full detail. I will answer that question right now in full detail, bro.
There's a question for JD and Chris. The Little Caesars Batman movie pizza,
or like the movie. Okay, so look, I want to see a Batman movie where he literally is insane. Because you ever heard of that book where it's from the perspective of the psychiatrist talking to Bruce Wayne?
Nemesis?
And
You're talking about Nemesis.
I think so.
Yeah, it's where the Batman wears a white suit. And he's got like no spikes in his head. He's like the Joker. He does
no. I was talking about like this is like I think this is like a book that was written that had nothing to do with DC. It was just the fact of people were dissecting it. So it's like the psychiatrist talking to Bruce Wayne, understanding that Bruce Wayne is his own villain and his own enemy because everything that he's fighting against, he creates with his own demons and his own monsters, which I think DC adapted into later as something they told. But this is like a whole thing that has nothing to do with the comic world. But I would like to see that type of Batman movie because honestly, I believe, yeah, Batman's entertaining with all the villains we see and all the stuff he goes through. But I do believe that Batman is his ultimate villain because Joker is a play on his conscience. You know, Killer Croc is a strength that he wishes he had. You know what I'm saying? Scarecrow is all his fear that he leaves behind.
He's got like just like a personality disorder.
Yeah. And like Two-Face is like literally his good and evil that he fights within himself. You know what I mean? Like, do I be good by saving somebody today? Or should I just say, fuck it all and just not do anything? You know? I want to see a Batman movie like that because I think if Reeves did something like that, that probably would have hit harder than what we got now. Because, dude, think about it. Like the Joker standalone, yeah, everybody's like, oh, Joaquin Phoenix Joker has nothing to do with the Marvel universe or DC universe. I'm sorry, DC universe. But yet they hit
from what we know of.
Yeah, he hit certain points. You know, like he saw young Bruce, but it doesn't mean he's going to be that Bruce Wayne's Joker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I still think it's trash though.
No, it is. But
I think that movie's trash.
Like it is, but it isn't. And the only reason I say that is because it actually gives
interesting. It's creative. It's original. It's a good telling of the story.
Yeah.
I just feel like the director and the company itself took a cheap cop out to literally steal certain aspects of the Joker's character, and then just claim it's not the Joker. And then when it feases them, when someone calls them out on some bullshit that it doesn't work as the character's portrayal in the comics, they're like, oh, well, that's not who we're doing. Yeah. But then when people are blessing them and gracing them by saying it's the most amazing representation of what they've done, they're like, yeah, dude, I took a lot of inspiration from the comics. But it's like, dude, shut the fuck up, dude.
But it goes to everything, shit. Bro. It goes to everything because like that goes back to what I'm saying. Like now we have to have a gay character or LGBT character or transgender character, or there has to be a certain amount of a race versus another race, right? Mm-hmm. And like again, if everybody just said what they really wanted to say, then it's either going to be good or bad. It's going to be the same concept. Like let's say if they just said, oh, well, Thor's gay all of a sudden. Everybody who hates on it, okay, well, yeah, I'm sorry. It's just a multi-universe type thing. We're just trying something out. But if everybody
that's lazy writing. That goes back to the lazy writing aspect. They've done that a million times before. The big argument was they were trying to say that Loki was gay in the last season. Yeah, and the reason why is because in some of the comic book iterations, like he's made love to males, right?
Okay.
But then in actual mythology and lore, he's fucked a horse. So do you want to go off of that too? Like then it's bestiality and he's into fucking animals. Like where do we draw the line to how you want to fucking take a character and run with it? Like I don't understand that argument. Like I mean, but then again, that goes off of the people that don't read the material and they go off of some Google ass knowledge that they think their normie ass is going to get behind.
Have you kept up a Robot Chicken? I mean, not recently because it's not really on. Okay, so Robot Chicken had a skit on Harry Potter characters where they turned into animals in the forest because they were trying to hide from somebody, right?
Oh, nice.
And one of the characters was like, "All right, let's go fuck this horse," and he's all like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, I mean, I'm a horse. I mean, so it's okay, right?" And then like the other guy was like, "Hold on, hold on." He's like, "Ron, would you go fuck a horse if you were an animal?" And he was all like, "Well, like in person or me being an animal?"
There you go. Fucking George knows. Loki's
Yeah.
actually the receiver in that one.
Yeah, and the horses. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But the whole skit goes off to like, how is it okay to say bestiality is fine without it saying it's fine? You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like I don't know. There's so much stuff that goes into play. And George, I'm sorry, but to answer your question, I think the Batman Little Caesars pizza was amazing. I definitely had that more than one time. The movie I will not watch more than one time.
Okay, so George, to answer your question on my side, if anyone ever buys you or gets you a pizza party from Little Caesars, they don't fucking love you. Like
Damn.
that is the worst fucking pizza.
Okay,
No, man. I understand it's a good price,
Little
but
Caesars,
you pay for what you get.
Little Caesars is great when it's fresh. Like, I mean, hot out the oven fresh, not like it's been waiting for you to go pick
Like
it
you
up.
got to be eating it in the oven because when it's in your car and you get to your house, like it sucks after that.
It
Dude.
sucks.
Yeah.
The best cardboard ever is Peter Piper pizza.
Yeah,
And
straight up, yeah. But it doesn't go good with like ranch. It doesn't go good with anything. You just got to eat it for what it's worth, and like that's all. Like if you try to add some shit to it, like, nah, it ain't gonna work.
Hell yeah.
Pizza Hut's good. Domino's, I fucking love Domino's, dude.
Pizza Hut used to be good, bro. Not even their stuffed crust good anymore. Like I don't know what happened to Pizza Hut, but Domino's, I think
they got fucking nobody bought their shit after Domino's and Little Caesars were like $5 pizzas. Pizza Hut was like, we're fucking gourmet here, boy. Can't pay $5 for our fucking genius shit.
Well, Domino's though, first choice of Ninja Turtles back in the day, man, 1990s.
I love Domino's. I think it's great. The garlic Parmesan pizza is super good.
Dude, Domino's is the shit.
But like going back to what we were talking about, right?
We're getting off topic.
Super off topic. Yeah, like if they were to go off of like the real storylines, would it make the stories better instead of them taking inspiration from like all these different alternatives and shit like that?
Yes.
Why?
And the only reason I say is because I'm going back to Kick-Ass. And this is because me and Chris Rodriguez talked about this at one point. Chris is the type of guy that will not watch a comic book movie because it does nothing. It has nothing to do with the comic book movies. You get me?
Yeah.
So I never knew of Kick-Ass at all. So when he told me, I saw the movie first, right? And then he told me, he's like, "Oh yeah, this is an actual comic book, graphic novel.
Fucking comic book by Miller."
He let me borrow a couple issues, and I fell in love. I was like, "Holy shit, where was this my whole life?" And then not that I became an aficionado, but like I literally went to go buy every other Omni book, everything up to the new series before Kick-Ass turned into a girl. Not that I'm not going to give it a chance, I'm just going to wait for more Omni books to come out and then I'm going to pick it up. But the whole point is that I agree with him on the Kick-Ass part because, like I said, Big Daddy, his costume was changed to look like an off 99-cent Batman because in the comics it was nothing but a butcher apron and a chainsaw and he was always bloody, and I get it. Okay, fine. But besides that, bro, that was a literal adaptation of panel to panel.
Yeah, they did fairly good with it.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is
the only thing that I didn't like is like they changed and I mean it sounds stupid, but like when he finally comes out to the girl that he's not gay and he tells her like he loves her and all this stuff, like in the comic book, she literally tells him to get the fuck out, you freak, and then goes and fucks like the head quarterback of the football team and sends him like pictures of her getting like banged and shit. Well, in the movie, they were like the chick falls in love with him, the hero gets the girl.
Well, yeah, I get that, but I mean,
that changed the whole dynamic of the whole depression part.
But besides that, bro, they did a great job panel to panel.
And I think Code Red too. I didn't like that they changed Code Red, which was they're going up the elevator, hit girl and Kick-Ass. Yeah. And she takes out this like necklace and she opens it up and she puts it to her nose and sniffs it. Yeah. And Kick-Ass looks down at her and goes, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, well, my dad told me that he had these scientists working on this secret formula that if anything ever became too hard, I was to activate code red, which is this little vial. And he's like,
Yeah, they turned it
that's
into
fucking cocaine.
they
And
turned it
she
into
looks up at her
syrup.
and her eyes are all fucking dilated and bloodshot. And she's like, yeah, and it's fucking great. And then she jumps out the elevator and just fucking, it's the whole scene. Like because I remember everybody talked about that, where she like throws the clip in the air and then like clips the gun like midair and shoots. It's like, I was like, bro, that's because she did a bunch of cocaine before, that fucking 11-year-old kid.
Well, I mean, okay, yes, but look, given in the universe of film and the rating system,
Yeah, they stay good with it.
There's certain things that they can't do because, right? But beyond that, I think they did a good job because they actually followed Kick-Ass's storyline to the T for the most part.
I think it was a little bit before its time, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I think right now with like the popularity of Invincible and The Boys, I think a Kick-Ass film would be prominent, like prominent.
Dude, that's the thing that I hate though, is because I know if they do it now, it's going to be recasted. It's going to look like a reboot. It's going to be a reboot. And it's going to piss me off because they already laid down.
You're a big fan of both Quicksilvers being the characters of the main ones, or what?
Yes, bro.
They had the Quicksilver from X-Men and the Quicksilver from the Marvel universe. They were the main characters of the story.
Hell yeah. But like what I'm saying is like even Jim Carrey, dude, playing Justice. Oh my god.
He hated that role, dude.
Dude, but he did a good job.
Did you hear about that? That he totally didn't go to he didn't go on the press tour because he never he never read the story and he didn't realize like how his character dies.
Yeah.
So when it finally got filmed, he was like, fuck this movie. I'm not doing the press tour. And he didn't do the press tour.
But even at that, he did a great job, though. You know what
man.
I mean?
He got a good-ass paycheck, dude. Come on, man. He picked up the fucking coolest paycheck and didn't have to go to work.
So you're telling me the reason Dr. Robotnik is so dope in Sonic is because he's getting a badass paycheck?
Yeah, he gets a badass paycheck, dude. I mean, it ain't anything else, man. They don't get him because of his acting. They get him because he makes really good, silly faces.
Dude, okay, but his acting is great though. The number 23, bro. That was so like superb. Like Jim Carrey at his best. I mean, he did other great stuff, but I'm thinking 23 was like the main one for me. Like it stuck out. I know he did the Andy story pretty well. The Man on the Moon. He did that one really well.
Andy Warhol.
Yeah, and then and like I don't know, man. It's just crazy. But like what I'm saying is, I think if someone took Batman and made it exactly to the Jim Carrey as Riddler was actually better than the Riddler we saw. So if they took the source material and followed it to a T, I think it would be good if they actually followed it to a T. Because
what do you think then this film should have followed? Because it took a lot of, I mean, we said it already. It took a lot from Year One, Year Two, Hush, and it took a lot from the other one. What was it?
Longest Halloween.
The Longest Halloween, right?
Yeah, and Hush. So I think. Did you ever watch the animation of Gotham City Dark Knight or something like that, where it was just a bunch of people telling the story of their version of Batman and what they thought he was like, and it actually goes in with Year One type stuff. It was like when DC started doing animation way back when. I
remember.
And I think that was a good concept, but anyway, I think they should have followed like Year One to the T, because I think I would have sat 3 hours of watching Bruce Wayne go through the struggle of the ins and outs of what works, doesn't work on being a superhero. Right?
I mean, it's very similar too, because the Riddler was one of the villains in Year One.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is, like, I think if they did that, they would have been fine, because I think they took too much from Hush and The Longest Halloween to like try to make it make sense when it really didn't need that.
Yeah, I think to me the adoption of them taking the Riddler and then applying the Hush story to him right now, I think that was a little too much. Yeah, I think they should have made it a little bit more simpler. They should have made him a little bit like more of a just a regular villain. You know, in the original story of Year One, like I think he ends up like tricking the cops into coming to his house, and then he's like on the roof and he's throwing grenades or some shit down to him and trying to blow up people, and then Batman shows up and he's like, "Who the fuck are you? It doesn't matter. I'm beat your ass," or whatever. And then they start fighting or whatever.
And then
like I dig
vengeance.
that. Yeah, I'm vengeance, and then everybody's vengeance.
Dude, seriously, I love how they called him Vengeance throughout the movie. It was never Batman. I was like, hey, Vengeance.
Yeah, no one ever calls him Batman.
Yeah.
And then someone even told me about that too, is they were like, well, what if this isn't even a Batman movie? This is a Batman of another, this is a story of another character that's not Batman. And I was like Azrael? Or like,
Yeah, but even at that, he would go by Azrael. I mean, that's the thing.
yeah, I was like, it doesn't make sense. Why would Alfred be there then?
Yeah.
Why would he be living in the fucking Wayne house? Like,
honestly, dude, I really wish they would have went more into Alfred, bro. Like, because he was such a badass. Like, he
didn't have enough screen time.
Yeah, and the parts that he came out, all the shit he was talking, I'm like, bro, we should be watching a movie about Alfred, not Batman. Especially because like they did take the Pennyworth story, bro. And like, and a lot of the time, Alfred is said to be like a war hero or a veteran, or like, he went through shit, right?
Yeah, he was in like the Queen's Army or something like that.
Yeah, so like that's where we're at. So yeah, man, I don't know why, but it made me think about Richie Rich. You ever watch that movie with Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
You remember that part where he watches the kids play baseball, and then that guy that's supposed to guard him grabs him and says, "We got to get you back to the helicopter." And
I think his name is Pennyworth.
Yeah, and then Pennyworth comes up and he's like, "What are you doing?" And the guy's like, "It's my job to protect him." He's like, "Fine, do what you will, but don't touch him like that again, because that like there won't be a next time." Like I was like, "Bro, like we need to make a movie about him."
Yeah, about that one guy.
Yeah.
And there's a TV show called Pennyworth. You can watch it on HBO, and it kind of has a really good backstory of the original story of Alfred.
Really?
There are different iterations of it. Yeah.
Okay, so is it a DC Alfred thing, or is it just called Pennyworth? And
it's called Pennyworth, but it is about Alfred because it's Alfred Pennyworth. Yeah.
Dude, that's dope. I didn't know about that. I'm gonna check it out. And you say HBO?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
Nice.
So we get Vince Weaver says Tom Holland as Kick-Ass. I think I want to give Tom Holland a break. The guy's just playing everything.
Look,
I think I saw the funniest thing is I saw a meme the other day where they were like, Sony's thinking about making God of War, and it's like a picture of Tom Holland bald with the paint on his face, and I'm like, man, it's a little too much, dude. They're gonna chill this guy out, dude.
Tom Holland, everybody needs to get off that fucking wagon. Like,
I mean, he's all right, but I think he just need to chill, man. Like, there's a lot of actors out there.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna. I watch all the Spider-Man movies. Tobey Maguire's are my favorite. The only thing I have a problem with is part 3, not because of the emo scene, but because Venom wasn't played right. That's the only thing.
Yeah, it was kind of Venom
about part 3. I loved Andrew Garfield. I think not that was the best Spider-Man we've seen, but I will say that I like the take on it because, again, that is a different universe. So there's an Amazing Spider-Man, there's regular Spider-Man. Tom Holland is, the Homecoming Spider-Man. I love the movies. I don't like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but nonetheless, they're great films. And to me, I think Tom Holland is getting overused because, again,
he's the Jason Momoa of the midgets or what?
Yeah, seriously, man. And then he's like banging Zendaya. So come on.
He's got it all, man. He's got it all.
Yeah, seriously.
So let me ask you then, between this Riddler and the Jim Carrey Riddler, which one do you think is better?
Jim
and
Carrey.
Why?
Jim Carrey, because he actually had the riddles, or he was more menacing as a Riddler than this one was. I think this one was like I need to make my daddy proud, so I'm going to go over the top to make him proud when it wasn't the case.
Yeah. Okay. I can get that. For me, it'd probably have to be Jim Carrey's Riddler. I think that the way that they wrote him and the way Jim Carrey portrayed him was way better to a comic book accurate character because of the fact that Batman's characters and villains all have specific themes that they follow. Yeah. And the thing is Jim Carrey understood that. Same thing with the way they did Two-Face. Two-Face was understood when
who? Two-Face as in Bale, or Two-Face as in
No, the other one, the one that was what's his face from Men in Black?
What the fuck is
the old man guy's name? What's his name from the Fugitive? Yeah, Jones. I forgot his first name. Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, when Tommy Lee Jones, when he portrayed Two-Face, they got it. He was just a crazy dude, menacing gangster guy that was like, hey.
Did that mess you up? Did that mess you up knowing that in Batman 1 you had Lando Calrissian as Harvey Dent, and then when it comes to actual showing Two-Face, it's like Tommy Lee Jones.
No, it didn't mess me up. I mean, it was one of those things. Like it was like, I mean, but then again, it's like I don't look at characters for race. I never did that. And then at the aspect of it, when I was that young, I wasn't reading the comic books. I knew who Batman was, but I was like Adam West Batman. So I only knew like the villains and Batman and Robin. I didn't know who Harvey Dent was. I didn't know who Falcone was. I didn't know who the Court of Owls were. It wasn't like that way back in the day. So when they brought in a Harvey Dent and it was Lando Calrissian, I was just like, okay, cool. Names. People are just filling up the city or whatever. Where are the villains? I want to see Batman punch the Joker. Like, there was just, I was a kid. And I don't understand if anybody was going to be like, no, man, I was a hardcore fan at the age of 8. I know exactly who fucking Harvey Dent. Well, get the fuck out of here, dude. Yeah. For me, it was, I think the Riddler in the new movie, I wasn't a fan. He didn't follow a theme. There was nothing about him that raises the bar in the essence of saying, well, he's going to be memorialized as this character because he literally played every other type of sociopath, serial killer that
he was Jigsaw's son, bro.
That's it. Yeah, he was just a fucking basic ass dude. There was nothing special about him. He wore a green suit that had a little mask on it. Like you said, he looked like a gimp. Like there was nothing cool about it. There was nothing memorialized about him. I think when he took his fucking costume off and was like him,
that was more
as the nerdy guy, I was like, oh fuck, this guy looks like a Riddler. Like, oh, this guy looks like a Riddler. And then when he's in the fucking thing and he's all freaking out, and then he sees fucking Batman and he's like, and he starts smiling. I was like, oh, this is gonna get good. And then there was the whole monologue in the jail cell with him saying no for like fucking 4 minutes long. And I was like, bro, what the fuck is this garbage?
That was a key moment in that movie, bro.
Yeah, I guess, dude. Whatever the fuck a key moment is, these people sucks.
Oh man.
So between the two villains in this story, who do you think was better? This is from Vince. The Riddler or the Penguin?
Honestly, even though the Penguin wasn't in there as much as I wanted him to be, I thought the Penguin was better.
Okay. Same thing. I thought
because
the same thing.
And I love the Penguin's dialogue too, even though some of it may have came off cheesy, but I think it was the smartest and the best way I've seen Penguin besides Danny DeVito. Well, and in Gotham, because I like the way they portrayed him in Gotham.
Yeah, I think this one was closer to Gotham.
Yeah.
And then Vince Weaver says, Gotham show Riddler or Adam West Batman show? They're fucking Adam West Riddler, dude, in a heart.
Dude,
that was the best Riddler, dude.
So in the Gotham, I'll give it props. But literally the best Riddler beyond Jim Carrey would be the Adam West Riddler.
Yeah, the old school Riddler was so fucking fantastic.
Dude, Catwoman pissed me off though.
Tell me. I want to know.
Well, she pissed me off because it's like, yeah, okay, she's a burglar. She's a cat burglar. And okay, her name's Selena, whatever. But she didn't give me Catwoman vibes, bro. Like,
yo, you didn't like the CG fight scene when she was fighting Batman and she threw like the weirdest move and it looked like she was like a little computer like video game?
No, I did not.
That fucking garbage, dude.
Dude, like Eartha Kitt, amazing. Michelle Pfeiffer, I believe.
Oh, awesome. Michelle Pfeiffer is the best, dude.
And then the girl from that Disney
Anna
show.
Hathaway?
Yeah, Anna Hathaway. Great job.
Yeah,
but like this one was no. And then even the little girl that portrays Selena Kyle in Gotham did a better job. You know what I'm saying?
She did really, really good.
And like this one was like, what is it? It's just a girl in a black tight suit with a ski mask that all of a sudden has the points up here because of like when your mask is too big, you know? But like it's not even intentional. Like it's like, what was the point?
I don't know. Like I remember reading something about the chick, Zoe Kravitz, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, I want my Catwoman to be different. I don't want it to be sexualized. I don't want it to be anything in the sense of where it's like that. I want it to be where my character's looked at as a strong woman and blah, blah, blah.
So she took Halle Berry and just covered herself up?
No. And then like in the first introduction of her character, you have Batman creepily watching her change in the fucking in her room, like all the way down to her underwear, and Batman is still watching her change. I thought that was the fucking creepiest shit I had ever seen.
Yeah, so
in
much
in a
for not
superhero
sexualizing
story.
your character, right?
Yeah, he's a peeping Tom, dude. That's illegal. Why would he fucking do that? Why would he not respect a woman and not stop watching her change when she's in her fucking underwear?
Yeah.
Like, and he just stayed there, and he was all like, the only thing they should have done was just add the heavy breathing the Riddler was doing. Yeah, and that would have just topped the fucking scene.
I knew you would
Yeah.
come.
And then later on, he's all like it's like he groomed her into like falling in love with him.
Yeah.
Because like he had seen her and he's like, yeah, I like this chick. She's hot. I saw her change and I like what she's got or whatever. So I'm just going to keep backing on her and I'm going to use her for everything I need. Totally looked over the fact that she has all of these crazy fucking skills and that she like robbed the place.
I didn't like that they made her the daughter Falcone.
Oh, she was like that in the story too.
Yeah, but I hate how they
Hush.
just
Was it Hush?
how they
No, it was
how they just
The Longest Halloween.
I hate how they just like how they force fed it.
Oh,
Like,
you're
I mean,
talking about how they made it to where like they chose the fucking Transformers weird guy, the conspiracy theory guy, to be Falcone, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up, girl?" Like, rubbing her face and all this shit, and you're like, "Wow, that's really creepy." And then like, "Oh, but she's my daughter, though." Be like, "Fucking what the fuck is going on?" In the comic books, in that storyline, if I'm not mistaken, of The Longest Halloween, Catwoman is Falcone's pinche Falcone, Falcone's daughter. So he does take care of her, and I know that's part of like the Batman lore. So that's not at all a bad thing. I think that, like you said, where they made it to where, but I think it's the same story if I'm not mistaken, where the mom was like a showgirl.
Yeah.
And he like molested her or raped her and had a kid. And then he kind of had a heart and was like, wow, I have a child. You know, I'll help out whenever I can. And she just despised the fuck out of him because he was so like disgusting. But yeah, man, the Catwoman character, I was kind of not at all like, I mean, the female, Zoe Kravitz, she did a really great job of portraying the character Catwoman. I just think that she was underutilized and then she was used too much, like the way that she's used in the story of The Longest Halloween. Okay. Like they took her whole entire storyline from that one and just used that in this one. Which now that kind of coincides with the idea that they can't really use The Longest Halloween.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that they can't use anymore, and that's the thing that not sucks, but that's the thing that bothers me is like, it's like to me with the Snyder Cut, he took so much information and tried to stuff it down our throats to be like, oh, let's make this canon, let's make a universe happen. So I feel like they did the same thing here. Like, let's take all these cool story arcs, put it together, but yet in the end, it didn't make sense.
Yeah, I think they use those as anchors more than anything. And the reason why I mean like anchors is because like a lot of the shit that Snyder put in it was so fan fiction that it was going to make the fans be like, yeah, this is what we need. Everybody needs to tweet this and hashtag it and do it. And it's like, yeah, but if we go back to it, we can't do that. Yeah, if we go back to that fucking film, there's no way we're going to be able to do this because I just threw it in there because I didn't think we were going to have a chance.
Yeah.
And that's like this movie, like they threw in a bunch of shit because the guy was like, well, I think we'll get a part 1, but I don't really think we're going to get a part 2. So let me just throw all this random shit in it that all the fucking fans are going to dig. But yeah, more than likely we're not going to come back. So I don't have to worry about it. And then everyone watches it. They make money. And then the fucking studio's like, hey, well, what are we going to do for part 2 and part 3 and part 7 and part 8? And they're like, oh,
and then turns into Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, and then they were like, dude, we didn't plan on that. What are we gonna do now? Like, do we have to commit to what we did? Like, I think it's gonna be shit. We're rushing this too much. We can milk the fuck out of it if we can. That's what I kind of feel like it ends up doing.
Well, honestly, I think the key for future Batman movies is no matter what, we're gonna need a Joker because everybody is already tuned to that, and I don't mind seeing Joker as long as it's not Jared Leto. But I think the future for it is let's bring more villains to light, bro. I mean, I get it. They're trying to realistically put in why people are how they are. Like Nolan Two-Face, the burning in the warehouse. Okay, he survived, and this is who he is. The Tommy Lee Jones ones, acid to the face, kind of comic related. Okay, cool. This is where it is. And we can make sense of that. Okay, fine. Same thing with the Riddler. Same thing with every villain we've seen, right? But like, dude, how dope would it be that, and at least in the Batman world, you make it believable that Clayface can exist due to something similar that has been talked about. You know what I mean? Or let's have Scarface, or let's have Man Bat. Like, I don't get how Marvel can get away with so much cool villains that they bring out, but yet DC is like, we got to keep it real. We can't bring out these random villains unless we're in an exaggerated world. You know what I'm saying?
I just think it's one of those things, like with the failure of a bunch of the franchises from DC, they end up having a lot of this kind of like, hey man, well, you know what? We're gonna do this one time, but we're not gonna do it again because the actors keep failing and falling out.
Well,
so they don't want to invest and drop into doing like more stories because they
Right.
know, like they know that Batman versus the Joker, they know that sells.
Yeah.
But they don't know if Batman versus Toy Maker will sell, or
Right.
versus Clayface will sell, or
Well, yeah,
versus
but
Solomon Grundy. They don't want to
but
take
they-
those chances because they're afraid they're not going to make their billions back.
But they took a chance with this, and look at it, it's shit. I mean, yeah, they probably made their money back because they overhyped it. But at the end of the day, I'm just going to tell people who never seen it, oh, just watch the preview and you're done. Because the preview showed every best aspect of that movie, and that was it. Like, that was done. But the whole thing too is like I mean, okay, DC with the Flash, I don't watch the Flash, but I am a fan of like Mark Hamill and stuff like that. And I heard that they brought out some really good characters in Flash. Like they brought out
they brought out his rogues gallery pretty good.
Yeah, they brought out Grodd, which is like, bro, come on. Really? Like the show did that, but the movies can't, you know? And it just pisses me off because, like, okay, people are going to talk shit about Suicide Squad 1, 2. They're going to talk shit about Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, right? But I give all those movie props in their own right. So Suicide Squad, besides Jared Leto, yeah, it was Will Smith and friends, but I do like the actual idea that they actually brought Suicide Squad to life in live action. Like that was that to me was great. I didn't like the plot of, you know, the Ghostbuster wormhole ending. You know, I didn't like any of that. But the fact we saw Harley Quinn live action for the first time, the fact that we saw Boomerang live action for the first time, the fact that Killer Croc existed, bro, I was like, holy shit. And then, of course, James Gunn with Part 2. Again, I think James Gunn is a genius, and people probably didn't like Suicide Squad Part 2, but I know that they can admit it was way better than the first Suicide Squad. That, I loved it all. Like, to me, that was just perfection. And especially because everything we got afterwards, like we got Peacemaker, the TV show. We got idea and talks about more Marvel, DC characters being explored. And to me, that's amazing because that is a foot in the right direction, right? And then Birds of Prey, I mean, you get Zaz and you get Black Mask. It's like, bro, live action, like Black Mask, come on, bro. Then the fact of like Harley Quinn actually showing who she is as a person besides Joker's girlfriend, to me, I thought was great.
Well, even in the Suicide Squad, we got what's his name? Joe Chill.
Yeah, Joe Chill.
Yeah, and Joe Chill is the dude who killed Bruce Wayne's parents.
Bruce Wayne's parents, yeah.
Yeah, he was actually the Joker's like henchman that came in when he's like surrounded by knives on the floor. And he's got like all that shit. Yeah, Joe Chill comes in. He's like, oh, come in, chill, and enjoy your fucking, I don't know, bullshit with me or whatever. I don't know what he says.
Yeah,
Joe Chill. Yeah, that's literally Joe Chill.
But that's what I'm saying is like movies like that explored a lot of shit, and I love it. And then, I mean, like, I know Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey is never going to get a sequel because apparently it bombed, but I thought they did a great job. I mean,
the only thing I didn't like about that movie is how fast they killed off Black Mask.
I get that, but even at that, I'm not saying Black Mask is like a huge villain, but I felt that was the right way.
He's a huge villain.
Yeah, I know, but I think it was the right way. I think it was the right way to go about it because really, the Black Mask story, it could probably carry on and probably do a lot of
fucking McGregor, man.
I get that, but I mean, dude, he needed to be on Star Wars, bro. He needed to be doing Obi-Wan Kenobi show. You know what I mean?
No, DC needs help. Star Wars doesn't need help. Star Wars does not need help. In fact,
yeah.
Star Wars needs to come help DC out.
Well, okay. So
DC needs a goddamn help.
speaking of Star Wars,
Uh
everything about the universe is great except for the last 3 movies.
Okay, I concur.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Boba Fett. We could done without Boba Fett.
But dude, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, and a lot of people hate me for it. I love the shit out of Kylo Ren, bro. Like, I think Kylo Ren deserves so much more than what he got.
Why though? Gotta need an explanation. You can't just be like,
No,
well,
okay.
Adam Driver's fucking handsome.
Dude, Adam Driver, big nipple, handsome man. I love it.
Dude.
No, it's funny.
Wears his pants up really high.
Yeah, no, but look, watch. And again, Chris Rodriguez, me and him have heated battles about this.
Ooh, I love it.
He says Kylo Ren is nothing but a whiny bitch.
True.
Cool. But so is Darth Vader.
True.
We had 3 movies.
Yeah, he wiped out an entire almost village of people because he hates sand. And they, raped his mom or whatever. But
well, yeah, that too. No, but like what I'm saying is like we had 3 movies of him whining, and then we got Darth Vader.
And he beat the shit out of some kids, dude.
And then Chris was like, "That's not Darth Vader. They're 2 different people." It's like, no,
what do you mean?
Anakin is Darth Vader, just like Darth Vader is Anakin. Like, they're the same person.
Okay, you have to be very specific at this, because I mean, look, bro, I like Star Wars.
Okay.
I mean, I like the fuck out of Star Wars.
Okay.
And I do agree with Chris, because there are a 2-point personification of that. Anakin is an individual and Darth Vader is an individual. And it's represented throughout the series that everyone commentates that. Even Obi-Wan was like, Anakin, your father was killed by another Jedi named Darth Vader. Like, and then I get it that he was trying to be like, well, I don't want to tell him it's his fucking dad, though. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it's explored more in the comic books, where the human part that's still Anakin on his body are the human parts, and the animatronic parts are the ones that are filled with the dark side of Darth Vader.
Okay, I get that, and I'll give you that. But nonetheless, just like RoboCop is Murphy, Murphy is RoboCop.
I mean, but that's like Cyborg. How much a Cyborg would be Cyborg?
The part that's human.
It's only his heart and his face.
No, well, still, the point is,
his brain. I
they
guess.
they can't exist without each other. That's the point. So to say that Kylo Ren's a whiny bitch and then leave it at that, fine. But you got to acknowledge that Vader, yes, 2 different personas, but still the same person. Just like Batman is Bruce Wayne and Batman is Batman.
Yes,
but
and no.
The same person.
Yes,
but the reason why I like Kylo Ren is, I get it. The only time we ever see Darth Vader be powerful is Rogue One, when he busts in and fucks everybody up.
Wrong. In the comic books, I've seen it in the comic books.
No, comic books are great. The stories are great, but I'm talking about just movieverse, right? So movieverse, we only see Darth Vader be as powerful as he can in Rogue One, when he just busts in, starts killing everybody when he busts in the ship. Okay, great. Everything else in the movie is force choke, his badass dialogue, and the fact that he's a badass with his lightsaber. That's it, right? So then,
he did some damage on Luke when they fought in the original trilogies.
Oh no, he did, and I'm not discounting that. I love that. But what I'm saying is, dude, Kylo Ren's first intro scene, where he goes and sieges that camp, stops a fucking blaster bolt in midair.
JD, come on.
Continues to do what he needs to do, and then lets it go before he leaves. Like, JD. To me, okay, look, watch. To me, that was like, bro.
I mean, it's legit because it's on screen, right? Okay, but that's the thing is they needed to initiate this idea that this was a bad motherfucker, dude.
Okay, he was, and he is. Like,
I get it. I like it.
Okay, and then yes, he threw tantrums and he broke shit and he was
mad.
Bro,
he didn't throw tantrums. He threw the tantrums. There's no one else in Star Wars history that ever did that. There's literally a scene where they come up and they're like, "Sir, we lost the map," and he's like blows shit up, and he just turns around and beats the shit out of a computer. Yes, and then turns back around. And he goes, "Anything else?" And the guy's like, "No, not really." Like, I mean, what the fuck do you do to that?
Okay, it's cool, but dude, what I'm trying to say is I love his intensity. Like, I wish they would have given him more. Well, no, because like when Luke Skywalker was there, even though it was like a holographic Skywalker, and he was shooting him, it was like again.
Like more, the more scene, the more.
Yeah, I was like, bro, like that to me. I thought it was cool. I didn't like how he's trying to connect with his sister. I don't like how he's trying to get her to go like a certain way. Well, not her sister, but Rey. But like, I don't like how he's like
his
always.
sister. I was like, who's his
Yeah,
sister?
it's because I started thinking about the original trilogy, Luke and Leia, but no, it's not.
Them banging each other. I swear to God, that happened in one of the films.
Yeah, it did. It had to. I downloaded the wrong Star Wars. No, just kidding. So like, I feel that Kylo Ren, not that he deserves a standalone, but I want more of him. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a really strong believer in wishing and hoping that they do a Knights of Ren series.
But
and I think we'll end up getting a
movie,
series. Yeah, because remember, he's the
itself.
master of the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
So we'll end up getting more of a backstory for Kylo Ren. And the thing is like with the with the build of like the Boba Fett story and the Mandalorian story, they ended up introducing or reintroducing Luke Skywalker at a young age. And in that process, there is a scene in the recent Boba Fett story where Luke Skywalker is building the Jedi Academy that gets ransacked by Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
So we're getting up to the point in the timeline where we're going to be introduced to a child Kylo Ren soon.
Right.
Like that's not far-fetched.
Because Kylo Ren was trained by Skywalker. Yeah.
So that's not very far-fetched, man.
See, it's not very far-fetched, and I love it. And then also, I want more Darth Maul, bro. Like Darth Maul got the shit in the stick.
No, JD, stop.
Dude, Darth Maul got the shit in the stick, bro. He comes out, kills Qui-Gon. You know, he's a badass, and it's like he dies.
No. He has an entire story in the Rebels and the Clone War cartoons.
Yes, but I didn't watch that. I lost
interest. Of course not. You need to, though.
I lost interest when it went into CGI. I liked it more.
It was not CGI. Everything about it was. It started off as CGI.
No, it didn't. Because
was it a cartoon, right? Oh yeah, that's right. It was
the clone.
It looked like fucking Samurai Jack, right?
Yes, that's what I was watching. I watched it when it was like Samurai. When it was like Samurai Jack story, bro.
I get that. No. But dude, they had a definitive story for Darth Maul. He ends up fucking winning and getting the Black Blade and being the fucking emperor of the fucking Mandalorians. And then he gets it stolen by fucking Bo-Katan or by Ren, the girl that's with Ezra Miller. She gives her back to Bo-Katan, and they never actually win it back from him. So they are the fake fucking Mandalorian emperors or whatever. Then later on in the series of Rebels, he ends up following Ezra out to the deserts of Tatooine, where he finds an aged Obi-Wan in the middle of the desert. You know, comes out and he's like, "You fucking coward. This is where you've been the whole time." And Ezra is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Obi-Wan. I didn't mean to bring him." He's like, "It's cool, bro. Get on your wampa and get the fuck out of here. I got this, bitch." And he takes off, and him and Darth Maul, Obi-Wan and Darth Maul are there, and they're like, "Yo, so what's up, bitch? You were gonna do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this." He's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And Obi-Wan's like, "Well, I ain't gonna tell you because you're not important." And then Darth Maul's like, he sees the house in the back where Luke Skywalker lives, and he's like, "Oh, are you here protecting something?" And fucking Obi-Wan's like, "Bwah," turns on his fucking lightsaber because that's his mission. His mission is that he has to protect the child of Padme and Anakin, right? He has to protect one of the children. Someone else is protecting Princess Leia, which is probably going to be like, I hope, Samuel Jackson's fucking Mace Windu. But yeah, and then all of a sudden, like him and Darth Maul, they have their final battle. Obi-Wan fucking cuts him through, and it's so cool because it's in sequence to how he killed Qui-Gon. The exact same fight scene, but Obi-Wan fixes what Qui-Gon should have done.
Okay.
The exact same movement. It's so beautifully done, so romantic if you think about it. And yeah, he kills him, and then at the end, he's Obi-Wan is holding on to Darth Maul in his hands. And it's kind of like that the comedian and the fucking the moth, or what's his name, when he's fucking in the bedroom, he's fucking crying at his bed thing, where you realize that even though it's his arch enemy, it's the only real friend that he fucking cared about. Dude. He's holding onto him right there, and then he's like, "Tell me who you're protecting. Tell me, is he the one?" And he goes, "Yeah, he is." And then Darth Maul just says, "He will avenge us." Dang. And he's talking about the Sith, dude. It's so fucking poetic, dude. So poetic. That's why I do not give a shit for them to want to bring Darth Maul back.
Okay, see, so now I'm gonna look into it because that was really good. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fucking good. It's really fucking good. And he has a bunch of interactions with Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano tanks his ass like 3 times. She beats the shit out of him. So like that goes to show how strong Ahsoka Tano is.
Yeah.
There's even times where he
Wait,
tells
hold on.
Ahsoka.
How is Maul alive in this
In
version?
the stories. So when he's cut in half, his people, like the group of people that he's part of, they find him and they give him like robot legs that look like a spider. And then he ends up hooking up with these dudes and they all go around doing like mischievous things. They have like a gang of mischievous
legs the whole time.
Yeah, he had like big ass fucking like Metal Gear legs, dude. Yeah, with a tiny body. And then later on, of course, he changes them to like little tiny legs and then does his thing in the Rebel story. But yeah, man, it's so fucking worth it. It really is in the clone story and stuff. But yeah, that's why I'm not a big thing. Like when they were going to bring him out in the Han Solo story, I was like, okay, well, that's prior. But then it's been in recent times in the Obi-Wan show that a lot of people are like, oh man, dude, we're gonna find
like, why did that happen? Because like Han Solo to me, shit movie. I fucking hate it. I think that should have been a TV show. And the man,
I don't think it should have been anything because it was an interesting take on everything we already knew.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like that should have been a TV show, at least episodically. And I think the Mandalorian should have actually been a movie. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I get it. Yeah, that can make a lot of sense. The Solo movie, for what it's worth, I think they took a big chance. And I think they were really pushing on the idea of expanding like the youth of Han Solo. Because they wanted to explain a lot of the only thing that I got out of the Solo movie was that the Millennium Falcon is somewhat sentient because it has an AI in it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just like a fucking ship that you just assume it is. It has that bitch ass weird robot that's always attitude towards everybody.
Yeah.
She's in it. So that kind of coincides with the idea of, well, maybe Han Solo, Rey, and Luke aren't really all that great of pilots. She's actually assessing them, and that's why they're so amazing. Because it never fails that in every movie, someone compliments the pilot of the Millennium Falcon at being like super amazing.
But it's not really.
But they don't have the experience to be that great.
Yeah.
And everyone chalks it up to be like, oh, well, Luke Skywalker, he can use the Force. Rey can use that. That explains shit. That would be like, oh, then they're good cooks. Because the Force will help them know what flavors to put in their fucking food. That doesn't make zero fucking sense. 0 sense. That's not going to make you a better pilot. Your reaction time may be better, but that's about it.
It's like, you ever watch the SNL skits, Undercover Boss with Kylo Ren?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you ever see the one where the girl's like,
man, I heard Kylo Ren has a 6-pack, or what does he say?
Yeah. I heard he's real jacked. Yeah, no, but I like when the girl's like, I want to be a pilot, I want to fight, and I can't do it unless I get orders straight from Kylo Ren. And then Kylo Ren makes it happen. He's like, oh, you could be a great fighter pilot like Kylo Ren. She's like, Kylo Ren? No, I want to be like Luke Skywalker.
Like Luke Skywalker.
And then he kills her and he's like, and you could die like him too.
Fucking dude, that was like the best. I wish they continued that shit. That would have been great.
Dude, seriously.
Yeah, man. Kylo Ren was, for me, mediocre. I think what they did to him at the end when they brought him back and he was all, oh, I'm Ben Solo. You see, and this goes back to the fact of where we talked about the difference between Anakin and Darth Vader. And then you have Ben Skywalker or and Ben Kylo Solo. Ren. Yeah, and then you have Kylo Ren. But the thing is he never made that jump because he never became a true Sith.
Oh, okay. Like, I see what you're saying. So
because when their eye color changes to that weird orange red is when they become truly possessed by the dark side.
Yeah. So
and like their whole mentality changes that they just think dark.
Right.
But Kylo Ren never did that because he didn't kill Han Solo. Han Solo helped him kill him. Because he literally stabbed himself for him.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing that no one ever talks about is that Han Solo knew he had to do that.
Damn.
Like it was the only way that he was ever gonna do his thing or whatever. But then again, they didn't even explain why Han Solo came back in the fucking Force. There's so much shit they didn't explain in that fucking movie.
Well, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
who the fuck cares about blue milk coming from some chi-chi of some weird ass animal in the middle?
Dude, you know that was like a $6 million prop in total of flying it to location, making it, and having it shot.
I remember that.
Dude, that is so.
That guy was really adamant about putting that puppet on that thing and making Luke Skywalker drink from it.
Dude,
God, man, that movie was so bad.
I want blue milk now.
Nah, dude, it's gross, man. It's so gross. I mean, I wouldn't say he was a really great addition to the Star Wars world, but
bro.
I would say that he was fun.
Okay, okay. Look, watch. Let's just put it like this: if Star Wars, and I know they have, but if they made a new gen or something new type of Star Wars character fighting game, Kylo Ren and Darth Maul would be the top two characters I'd pick.
They are, but they're not. Like Kylo Ren is not. Darth Maul, yeah, because he's super OP in Battlefront. Because he can literally run around and just. But so are the fucking Ewoks, because
Yeah,
their
that's true.
hitboxes are super tiny. Same
Yeah,
thing with
that's true.
Yoda, because he could like flip and do like parkour
Well,
at being like 7,000 years old,
okay,
and
but
he's
look,
like
dude,
this big, so you can't hit him.
think about like Injustice or Mortal Kombat, but Star
I'm
Wars,
talking about
bro.
Battlefront. Battlefront's probably the leading Star Wars game in the world,
Well, no,
other than Unleashed.
I get that, but I'm talking about like imagine a fighting game like that. And I know they did that way back in the day for PS1,
Yeah.
where like literally you could pick Luke Skywalker and you could pick someone else and fight on a side
And it
to
was
side.
trash. Yeah, it was trash. It was a
Yeah.
bad fighting game.
But dude, I think it'll work now.
Yeah, because you have two extra characters. You have Kylo Ren and Rey, but Rey will patank his ass with a stick.
Well, yeah, but you also got Finn.
Which, okay, I thought that was a super underrated story, and they really screwed that up.
Mhm.
They wanted to establish the idea that Finn was going to be some sort of Jedi or Force sensitive. He had that idea of him kind of like coming out to Rey saying that he loved her, and he never did. But like straight up, like that was the most horribly underutilized story throughout the entire thing.
I agree with Vince that
What'd he
Rey should
say?
have died and that Ben should have lived as the last Jedi.
No, you know what I think they should have done is they should have kept kissing each other until they figured out what to do.
You
Like
feel
he
the
would
force?
kiss her,
Yeah, it's pretty
and then
strong with me right now.
and then they just keep on bringing it back and being like, "Hey, I brought you back to life, but I'm gonna die. You got to figure." And then she dies, but you got to kiss me. And then he kisses her, and she comes back to life. Then they just keep going on and on until someone comes and saves them. That's what I think. Because it would have made about as much sense as the whole goddamn movie. Because you know the only other part is that they never explained the lightsaber scene.
Okay,
You know what I'm talking about?
which one?
The fucking scene where like she puts her lightsaber behind her back, and then Kylo Ren pulls it out of his when he's around the Knights of Ren, and they're like, "Oh fuck, he's got a lightsaber," and he's like, "Yeah, I know." And then they start battling right outside of Sidious's thing at the very end of the last movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So even in that part, there's a scene where when he sticks his hand to the back and he pulls out the lightsaber, and everyone freaks out, and he's like, "Yeah, I know. I didn't read the script either." It does not make any fucking sense why that happens. But that's nitpicking, I guess.
Yeah, it's nitpicking.
That's nitpicking.
It's pretty nitpicky.
Yeah, that's nitpicky. Why
Like,
does he go? Why does he go take Princess Leia's lightsaber to Luke Skywalker's house on Tatooine if she wasn't even from there?
If there was a Karen of nitpicking, it would be
that would be fucking me, especially in Star Wars, dude. Man, the last movies are fucking trash, dude.
Dude, so oh man, what are your thoughts on the Obi-Wan show?
Okay, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it, and the reason why is because a lot of people do not realize, if you do not watch the Rebels TV show and see the scene with Obi-Wan at the end, there is a huge gap of no Obi-Wan series stuff. Huge gap of his character just sitting there and growing old on that planet. There is a huge opportunity for you to go and see the dismay of a broken Jedi living the rest of his life out. This would be equivalent to like, I said this 2 weeks ago on the podcast when I was with Brian, and I say it again here. Go to YouTube and type in, I'm going to show it to JD when we're done with this, because I know he hasn't seen it yet. Go to YouTube if you're out there listening to us and watch Obi-Wan has PTSD, and watch that fucking video, and it'll explain to you how you're watching an old, broken war veteran talking to a young Luke Skywalker about the war the Battle of Naboo, his father that he fought in the war with, the soldier that killed him, which is himself when he turns to the dark side, and then all of this stuff, and then gives him his father's weapon. But like you can see it that the actor that portrays Obi-Wan Kenobi in that film just knew the right beats to put in that speech to make you feel that he had issues. That he had issues. What turned him into like this older hermit after the Order 66? Because literally from movie 3 to this movie, or to this story, other than that, it would be him being the old weird hermit that Luke Skywalker finds. There has been nothing of Obi-Wan in that whole time period.
Yeah.
That's a huge opportunity for them to build on a beloved character and then show him at his youngest point. Show him at his lowest point. Show him at his lowest point is as he grows and just loses complete faith and hope. And then the only hope he has is that this child will grow and bring balance again like his father should have. But the whole time is he's dealing with this aspect that he failed his master and his master's masters on the fact that his teaching was not adequate enough to stop someone from turning to the dark side. So that's my take on that. I think it's going to be great. Again, my biggest concern had been the lost opportunity was that Mace Windu didn't come out during the Grogu scene in the first Mandalorian. I thought that was a missed opportunity, that he should have been the Star Wars character, not Luke Skywalker, that came out to save him. But knowing that we're going into this film, the Obi-Wan series, Anakin's returning, and in like 2 days ago, Samuel Jackson started trending because he came out and said that he's down to come out and do some shit.
Dang.
I think we have a huge possibility of getting the Amethyst Knight. That would be so fantastic.
I am tired of these motherfucking lightsabers.
I'm tired of these motherfucking Sith on this motherfucking planet. But yeah, straight up, I think it'd be cool to see a Mace Windu return. JD, how do you feel about the Obi-Wan before we finish up?
I'm looking forward to it. I know it's definitely going to be better than Boba Fett, which really pissed me off because I thought Boba Fett was going to be way better than what
it was trash.
And I think it's funny how Mandalorian had to come in and save it. Like, I don't know if that was like intentional or after they just saw the bad reviews for the first couple episodes, like, you know what? We got to do something different.
That'd be hardcore. I was like, oh, fuck, dude, it's failing. What do we do? I'll bring the Mandalorian back.
Yeah. But like, dude, honestly, like, don't get me wrong. The first episode of Boba Fett, and I'm going to say this wholeheartedly. I love Star Wars, but I'm not a huge fan. So I don't understand a lot of the ins and outs or Easter eggs that probably should have happened. But I do like it for face value, right? So we hear about Boba Fett being a great bounty hunter and he's supposed to be a badass. Okay, cool.
But he was not.
The TV show and he's just a pussy. And then according to Chris Rodriguez, I forgot names that he had said, but there's opportunities that they should have brought out characters that saved Boba Fett and they never brought him out when it's like there was a chance to. And okay, fine. So for face value, the first episode was like, okay, cool. It's just getting started. I understand. Let's watch this. Second episode was like, okay, it's getting there, but it's still slow. And then the only thing that piqued my interest is when Jabba the Hutt's family came through, and he was like, "Well, this is my territory now." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Shit's gonna get interesting."
Yeah, interesting.
And then I saw episode 3. And I was like, "Yeah, no, fuck this." And I stopped. Like it was done for me after that. But I don't know, man. It's weird how Mandalorian came out, and I'm not saying Mandalorian wasn't needed or we didn't have to have it, but I like how it came out and it gave so much hope and brought so much light to the Star Wars universe because we all lost it after the trilogy that we got after, the original and then the prequel.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying it's a cash grab, and I'm not saying they're just trying to do it as a requel or something, but I'm really glad they're going to bring Obi-Wan out because like what you just said about that story, even though that was like a fan-made trailer or whatever, or film, that already enlightened me to want to know more about Obi, and I'm pretty sure that this TV show is going to implement it or at least bring out some aspect of it, right?
Bring out some aspect of it.
And like I'm looking forward to that because I think that'd be more interesting than like, oh, here's Boba Fett, the greatest bounty hunter, who's really not.
Yeah, that we don't know shit about, but he's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I keep telling people that I always wanted this opportunity for them to do like an accidental spy kind of thing with Boba Fett, where like he's just like a dude that's really clumsy but gets the job done.
Like a Mr. Bean.
Yeah, and then he just bounty hunts people and just does it by accident like that.
Oh my god! And then it has
Because
like,
that's the only thing we knew about his character is that he was this badass, and then he gets clipped in the jetpack and then falls in a Sarlacc pit.
yeah,
Like that was it. Like what as us as kids, like we just saw that as it being like a Benny Hinn show, like the
yeah,
wah 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 wah, the whole scene, right?
yeah.
So when he gets shot in the back and falls in, we're like, yeah, they beat the bad guys. But when you get older and you look at that, you're like, that's fucking silly, dude. Like, you would be like, dodge that bitch. Like, why are you fucking like letting him shoot
Like,
you in the? Why would you wear that jetpack in a fight? Like, fuck, dude. Like, wear something
like
else if it's that volatile, dude, or that dangerous.
also, his dad was probably the best one. I mean, because we actually saw that in Clone.
Yeah, we saw what happened to him.
Yeah,
Got turned into a fucking popcorn bowl
yeah. Seriously,
by a fucking Mace Windu chopping his head off.
motherfucker.
Motherfucker, I'm tired of these motherfucking clothes in the motherfucking gladiator pit.
Real quick, Vince says, "What show would you like to see? Jar Jar series or a Count Dooku series?" But before we get into that, I want to know, Chris, because I say this to Chris Rodriguez and I say this to other people I've talked to about it. I get mixed reviews, but I'm going to ask you because you're like the second biggest Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge fucking fan, dude. For no reason.
Phantom Menace. Would you agree, or would you say that Jar Jar Binks was the official Phantom Menace? The only reason I bring that up is because there is a bunch of stuff on YouTube and
That he's a fucking Sith, dude, right?
Yeah, that like every time he shows up, something bad happens, but yet he plays stupid. That way, we never expect him. So, like, would you say that Jar Jar Binks would be the Phantom Menace?
I would 100% agree with that, even though everybody claims it to be Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm. Because
Yeah,
Darth Maul was pretty much not the hitman, but he was the guy they called in to get rid of.
Well, he's
them.
not even a phantom. He just shows up in a large ass ship, you know, wearing some Nike shoes, fighting people in the broad daylight. Like, there's no phantom about him.
Yeah.
But Jar Jar literally like acts stupid all the way through. And then in the later films, you see he becomes a politician. Like,
that's pretty Sith.
Yeah, that's pretty sus, dude. That's pretty sus to kind of like, you know, buff, what's his face? The guy or Biff from Back to the Future. Is a really good way to biff yourself into being popular later.
Yeah,
like,
no
how
shit.
do you end up being
a salesman style?
Yeah, dude. Like, how do you end up being like this, like clumsy, put my face in electricity, can't fire a gun, my people hate me, to being in the fucking Senate later?
Well, dude, even at that, and the only reason I believe this theory is because that one scene where he returns to his home planet. Yeah, he was kicked out because of whatever reason. But everybody either hated him or was scared of him. Yeah, like nobody like accepted him, right? Mm-hmm. But like a lot of people were scared, and like, why would you be scared of someone this dumb if he wasn't like a badass or he did some fucked up shit? You know what I mean?
Maybe he Anakin'd out and fucking beat the shit out of some kids with a stick or something.
He ordered 66 of the Jar Jar race or what? Like
just the children though. He never did it to like the adults.
Misa gonna kill you now.
So man, okay, so I would see a Jar Jar series if he was a Sith. And I think I could see a story about a young Count Dooku because he was a Padawan under Yoda. So it wouldn't be that far-fetched to kind of see him like growing up being this like really badass. Like if they were going to do something like Academy-wise and they wanted to show like the children growing up and becoming these badass warriors. So you're watching Dooku grow up to end up being like the guy who ends up like screwing everybody over and being a villain.
Wouldn't Dooku somewhat kind of be like a Kylo Ren of his time? Because like
they're always like that. Sith or Sith, dude. Sith will always follow the same shit. Like
so?
Kylo Ren, he claimed that Luke Skywalker. I mean, if you think about it, fucking Luke Skywalker did exactly what his dad did to Obi-Wan or to Padme. Like he apparently tried to beat him up in his sleep or some shit. So he allowed the dark side to get the best of him, which was allowing his emotions to unwindingly get the best of him.
So would you?
But he was closer to the dark side because his eyes changed.
So real quick, and you're probably gonna hate me, or I don't know, because you agreed with the Jar Jar Binks. I think
Uh-oh, here we go.
that Yoda is the ultimate Sith Lord. Because they say Sith works in absolutes. And one of Yoda's key thing is do or do not, there is no try. And that is an absolute.
But Yoda is all about try.
I know, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
so he even breaks his own rules, so he can't be like that. Yeah, you can't. I mean, I get that he kind of lays that out as a thing, but he's always trying because he leaves hope in all the younger generation of people.
False hope.
Yeah, fucking fucking placed hope. It's more like it, but he leaves hope in them, even with the whole like telling Luke Skywalker to have hope in Rey, who had never been properly trained as a Jedi, never was a Jedi, never was a Padawan, never was in front of the council to be told she was too old to be a Jedi or a Sith or a training partner or whatever. He was just like, oh, it's okay, Luke, like it's good, like let her go, like
touch her booty.
Yeah. She's got books. She's got our books. She's good to go, man. It's kind of like he just doesn't care because he's already like in heaven or whatever. He's got like, the fuck do I care? Let them go. Like, let them do their thing, man. They deserve to make their fucking problems, man. And Luke will be like, but she's going to turn into the dark side. He's like, that's all Yoda says. He doesn't even speak anymore. He just like burps everywhere.
It's like, you can handle it.
Yeah, man. I mean, fuck. It just makes for good entertaining to watch or something, Luke. Just chill out, man. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. The last 3 movies were very weird. The way Luke died and everything, like it's very odd, but it is what it is. But yeah, guys, in the questions, what did you think? We talked about Kamala Khan. Are you excited for the series that's going to be coming out on Disney Plus? Guys, are you excited for what was
Batman?
the other one we talked about?
Moon Knight.
Talked about, Moon Knight. Moon Knight got its first reactions. Apparently, they're off the chain. People are talking it's probably the best thing since sliced bread. Are you excited to see Moon Knight? Do you know anything about Moon Knight? Is he something that I should even care about, even though I read a lot of comic books and I never gave a shit to read about? Should I read about him now? And what were your first initial reactions for the Batman? Were you guys excited? Were you not? Was it something you looked into? Did it keep its expectations? And out of a 10, 1 out of 10, what would you give it? For us, we're about the 6, 7 range. But for you guys, we'd like to hear what you guys think. Guys, leave it in the comments. Hit us up. Drop us some information if you guys want us to check out anything that's coming up in recent news. We have about 50 days for Doctor Strange 2. We're not cool enough in the level to be able to go watch it to be invited by Marvel. So we'll have to watch it with everybody else when it comes out. But you guarantee that I'm going to be fucking first in line to watch Doctor Strange 2. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate every one of you, to our extraordinary listeners. Thank you so, so much. JD, thank you so much for coming in and chilling out with me. Make sure you do not leave. Wait for me so that way we can chat in the background. And man, dude, it was such a good show, guys. Thank you so much. JD, drop some information so people know where to find you and where they can check your shit out.
All right, cool. So JD from X7X Ellis Gaming. You can find that on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. I do gaming videos. I talk a lot of cool shit sometimes, and Ray's energy drink, make sure you pick one up. I am an authorized dealer and seller, and this is my sponsorship. So yeah, check it out, and thank you so much for having me on the show, man. And I want to do more, so maybe I could become part of the team. I don't know. I don't know. Answers in the chat, guys. Do you want to see more of me or less of me?
More JD? Guys, let us know. Hit us up in the chat. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, we'll see you guys again next Friday. I'm going to try really, really crazy to get Rick Diaz on the show, who's a cinematographer for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the new film that came out on Netflix. And he's also a cinematographer for the Stranger Things TV show and the series. So, guys, make sure you tune in for next Friday. We'll see you guys again here next Friday, 9 p.m. here on the Average Boys Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like us on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast, this and that. Every podcast system you can think of, anything on your phone, wherever you want to go. Doesn't matter. Wherever you listen to some cool shit, hit us up. Look for the Average Boys Podcast. You'll find us. Guys, thank you again. And we'll see you guys again next Friday here again on the show. Peace.